Wraps up the Matsu Miners pregame show. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and Ultimate Party Foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hey y'all, I'm Blake Shelton. I love that country music connects people all over this great nation, but unfortunately so does something else, childhood hunger. 15 million children struggle with hunger in America. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks works to rescue our surplus food to help provide billions of meals to families in need across the country. Join the fight against hunger at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi guys, Drew Swift, infielder from Arizona State University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
We are live and ready for action here in Palmer, Alaska at Herman Brothers Field for an exhibition game between the Anchorage Adult All-Stars and the Matsu Miners. So the Anchorage Adult All-Stars, obviously an all-star team, so they don't necessarily have a record, only playing a few short games as this sort of squad. But the Miners, they have an ABL record of 26-17, as we'll run through the starters of the Anchorage Adult All-Stars. Leading things off is the center fielder Gunnar Baum, followed by the shortstop batting second, Dimitri Torres. The designated hitter and batting third is Jake Ridley, followed by the cleanup man and playing left field, Dylan Lawers. Hugo De La Cruz plays third and bats fifth. The first baseman, Derek Scogins, bats sixth. LJ Felix is playing right field, batting seventh. And in the eighth spot is the second baseman, Carlos Olivio. And rounding things off in the ninth spot is the catcher, Chris Rappel, as they'll be on to face the left-handed thrower out of Wasilla, Alaska, Nolan Monahan. Nolan, if this would be recorded, would be his sixth appearance of the season. In 5 appearances, 2 of them have been starts, has a 2.84 ERA. 12 and 2/3 innings pitched with 11 strikeouts, 7 walks, and has only allowed 9 hits. This is Brad Walker. Alongside me, as always, is Connor Mills. And Connor, going to be an interesting broadcast today. Going to have some surprise guests from different Miners players. So it should be a fun one.
Absolutely should be fun. It's going to be a nice, relaxing day at the ballpark here at Herman Brothers Fields. We're going to see a lot of different faces out on the field that maybe sometimes you don't get to see day to day, and just lay back, relax, and enjoy the game.
Heck yeah, as Gunnar Baum, the center fielder, seems he is from the Bobcats, as there is 6 different teams in the Anchorage Adult Baseball League. We'll get into that in just a moment, but right now the first pitch from Nolan Monahan is on the way. This nails the upper outside corner. He's now ahead in the count, 0-1. So Gunnar Baum playing center field and from the Bobcats in the Anchorage Adult Baseball League. As he swings through an off speed, he's well in front of it, now down in the count, 0-2. So we'll refer to the Anchorage Adult Baseball League as the AABL. But currently, Baum sits down on the count 0-2. Monahan misses away to the right-handed hitting Baum. Baum playing for the Bobcats as the rest of the teams goes as follows. Bobcats, Chinooks, Cubs, Skeeters, and a team sponsored by Steve's Sports Bar along with the Titans. Nolan Monahan sets down Gunnar Baum looking for the first out of the ball game thanks to a strikeout courtesy of Nolan Monahan. As Dimitri Torres, the shortstop, stands in. Not really able to see the front of his jersey. Nevertheless, he steps in from the right side. Monahan's first pitch has Torres swinging well in front of it. 0-1. Now, Nolan Monahan, we mentioned, out of Wasilla, Alaska. Went to Wasilla High School, where he threw back-to-back no-hitters and wrote to a state or a regional championship. As he nails the lower portion of the plate. Now the count is 1-1. Monahan working from the wind. His 1-1 delivery misses high and away. The count is now 2-1. So Nolan, who did not pitch for 19 days, appeared back on July 23rd against the Bucks, where he went a scoreless inning of relief as the Miners dropped that game, as he misses yet again outside, 3-1 to Dimitri Torres, the right-handed hitting shortstop. Monahan looking in, his 3-1 offering. This nails every portion of the plate for strike 2 as Torres, he wasn't happy about it, looking back at the home plate umpire saying, where was that? Nevertheless, the count is full. Monahan winds and deals. Just misses low to Dimitri Torres, so the Anchorage Adult All-Stars will have a runner on first with 1 down here in the top of the first inning. So if you're wondering how the AABL comes about, well, the only requirements to join the league is you must be 18 years of age by May 1st, and a small fee in order to join, as they encourage all men around the Anchorage area to join. As this pitch by the designated hitter Jake Ridley is fouled off and out of play to the right side. Ridley batting from the right side of the dish, so a lefty on righty matchup yet again. Monahan working from the stretch has Ridley swinging through a high pitch. Ridley from the Skeeters, one of the teams in the AABL. So Monahan, he'll come set from his waist. He's now ahead in the count, 0-2. Checks first, now motions to the plate. Swung on and missed by Jake Ridley. Rather, he got the bottom of the barrel on it. So that's a foul ball, and we'll stay at an 0-2 count. Last year, these two teams met, and the Miners were victorious, 5-0, as a Palmer, Alaska native, Jake Butcher, pitched a gem. As Monahan, he misses low with the fastball. The count is now 1-2 with 1 out. Butcher was the winning pitcher in that contest, going 5 innings, only allowed 2 hits in a shutout appearance with 2 strikeouts as well. Butcher also on this 2018 Matsu Miners roster. Monahan's pitch on the way. It's dribbled foul as Torres was on the move from first. No score yet between the Adult All-Stars and the Matsu Miners. An exhibition game today, so this will not go towards anyone's record. As sort of a tune-up game, as the Miners have a big one tomorrow against the second-place Bucks. The Bucks win tonight. That'll be for the regular season ABL title. Monahan, his 1-2. This one lined right back up the middle. Braden Merritt will play it off the hop, and the Anchorage Adult All-Stars have back-to-back runners aboard here with 1 out in the top of the first inning. That was a nice hit from Jake Ridley.
Yeah, Jake really just got a good piece of the bat on the ball and lined it out into center field.
So Dylan Lowers steps in from the Cubs. The first left-handed batter in this order is the cleanup man, as there is a runner in scoring position with only 1 out in the top of the first inning. Monahan still working from the stretch. His first pitch is a breaking ball in the lower outside corner, 0-1. So Lowers from the Cubs, we mentioned in the AABL. As there is runners on first and second, Torres drew a walk, and Ridley had a single. Monahan, his 0-1. This is a fastball that nails the same portion of the plate. He's ahead in the count, 0-2. The Miners currently ahead of the Bucks in the ABL, 1.5 games. So we did mention if the Bucks lose tonight, they will be out of contention, being 2 games back with only 1 game to play, and that game being against the Miners. Monahan, he misses low with this pitch. The count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out in the top of the first inning. So out of the 6 teams in the AABL, the Titans won the state title just a few short weeks ago. As this pitch misses in the dirt, David Avitia blocks it. Torres, he's caught in a pickle, but he won't try to escape it at all. As the throw down to Tyler Bozetti, he'll make the tag for out number 2. Nice block from Avitia as Torres thought it was going to get by him, but he unfortunately guessed wrong.
Well, just a good play, and for Avitia, when you have a guy hung up in between second and third, do you throw behind you and throw in front, and did the right job and throw into third.
So this 2-2 pitch is now fouled off. We'll stay at 2-2. And Avitia, he's been solid all year long from the catching position. Unfortunately, the bat hasn't exactly been there. But if you want a brick wall behind the plate, Avitia is your man to go to for this Miners team. Nevertheless, the count is 2-2 with a runner on first for Dylan Lowers. Monahan's pitch, a breaking ball, just misses upstairs. The count will be full with 2 outs in the top of the first inning. So a lot of guys that aren't necessarily everyday Miners being in the lineup tonight going to get their opportunity. Full count pitch is fouled off as Jake Ridley was on the move due to the full count going. So he'll definitely be moving on the pitch. On the next pitch, I should say. As Lawler's doing a nice job of fighting off the pitches, the left-handed batter. So Monahan takes a deep breath. His full count. This pitch misses low in the dirt. Lawers will be aboard with Monahan's second walk of the season. Monahan only has walked 7 so far this season in 12 2/3, but he's walked 2 tonight, as yet again, the Anchorage Adult All-Stars have runners on first and second. That'll bring Hugo De La Cruz to the plate, the right-handed hitting third baseman. He plays for the Chinooks, the AABL Chinooks, not the ABL Chinooks, in case there's any confusion.
Big difference.
Out there, there's a very, very big difference. As if we play the actual Chinooks, who are actually indeed playing tonight, we mentioned facing off against the Bucks at Lee Jordan Field in Chugiak, so we'll definitely have updates all night long for that ball game. So the first pitch had De La Cruz swinging. The second pitch nailed the upper part of the zone. So Monahan, yet again, ahead in the count 0-2 to the right-handed hitting De La Cruz. Chinooks with a neat uniform. A black base with a white and orange stripe, and then on the sort of arm sleeves is a digital camo. As De La Cruz, he's well ahead of the breaking ball from Nolan Monahan, who allows some runners on, but the Anchorage Adult All-Stars leave 2 on base in the top of the first inning as the Miners will step up to the plate for the first time tonight when we return on the Mat-Su Miners Radio Network. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
This is Kona Quiggle, outfield infield from Grand Canyon University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Bottom of the first inning between the Anchorage Adult All-Stars and the Matsu Miners. The Anchorage Adult All-Stars went scoreless in the top of the first. In the Miners, their lineup will go as follows. Leading things off, the third baseman from Southeast Missouri State, Danny Wright, followed by the second baseman, Connor Denning. Josh Hatcher batting third and playing first. The cleanup man is the right fielder, Nick Brooks. Austin Pinerini bats fifth and plays left. Shortstop, Tyler Brosetti, batting sixth. In the seventh spot is the catcher, David Avitia. And designated hitter Tristan Woods bats eighth. And Braden Merritt, the center fielder, will round things out in the 9 spot. They'll be facing the right-hand sidearm thrower, Kyle Bovey. Bovey, who plays for the Skeeters, is the man on the mound. So Danny Wright will step up to the dish for the Matsu Miners. Mr. Wright, a switch hitter, will bat from the left side of the plate against the right-hander in Bovey. First pitch into Danny Wright. That nails the lower portion of the zone, 0-1. So Bovey, he works from the stretch, as always, as he comes set from his waist. More of a submarine style, I should say, as he misses low and away, 1-1. Danny Wright this season with a .260 batting average and an on-base percentage of .345 as this pitch misses inside around the toes and will actually roll all the way to the backstop. So the count goes to 2-1 with nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. The 26-17 ABL leading Miners trying to get a win tonight as they tied in last night's exhibition against the Gold Panthers. So Danny Wright will foul this one straight back. Count will move to 2-2. As we will have the same schedule on tap, 9 full innings regardless of where the score is in the bottom of the 9th inning. As Bovey comes set, his 2-2 delivery is on the way. This will actually hit Danny Wright, and he'll take his base on a hit by pitch. So with nobody out and the leadoff man on for the Matsu Miners, we'll run through the defensive starters for the Anchorage Adult All-Stars. Rappel is behind the plate. De La Cruz at third. Torres at short. Olivio at second. And Scoggins is the first baseman. Lowers, Baum, and Felix are the outfielders from left to right. And it seems like we have our first special guest of the evening as Connor Denning, the switch hitter out of Mesa Community College, steps to the plate from the left side. So back-to-back switch hitters. And that special guest will be Spencer Henson, a utility man, as Connor Denning looks at a strike low, 0-1. Spencer, how we doing tonight?
Not too bad, fellas. How we doing?
Doing quite well. You know, another exhibition game, so really don't know what's much on tap as Bovey comes set. His 0-1 is going to be delivered at some point after he takes a deep breath. Now it's fouled back to the cage. Denning down on the count 0-2. So, Spencer, sort of take us through what's the clubhouse feeling before a game like this?
There's some mixed emotions. It's kind of hard to get motivated, but I mean, there's the guys that are coming in. You know, they're going to stick to their routine. You know, BP is the same, atmosphere is the same. It's just a different guy that you're playing.
Connor Denning, he ropes one into right field. Moving back is Felix. He won't get to it. This one's out of here. Connor Denning with a 2-run home run in the bottom of the first inning to give the Matsu Miners an early lead over the Anchorage Adult All-Stars, 2-0. What'd you think of that?
Look good, man. I mean, kind of hard to tell from up here, but I mean, that's good for Connor. I mean, he's good confidence builder. He's starting to swing the bat really well. So, you know, maybe you can keep this going later on whenever we start getting in playoffs and whatnot.
Definitely nice to see Connor really taking advantage of these opportunities the past 2 nights, as he did have a hit in yesterday's contest and a walk as well. So getting these opportunities in the exhibition games, and he's pulling through as Josh Hatcher steps up to the plate. He misses, or Bovey misses low and away for ball 1, 1-0. The score is now 2-0 in favor of the Miners over the Anchorage Adult All-Stars. And Spencer, what's the feeling before the big game tomorrow?
You know, we know what we have to do. We know what's on the line. So, I mean, preparation is actually going to be very focused. Pregame's going to be very focused. It's going to be a high-atmosphere game. It's going to be just like a World Series game. So, I mean, there's going to be big plays, and there's going to be little plays that end up affecting whoever in the end. So, I mean, just got to make sure we get the little things taken care of and, you know, just keep on this roll that we have. You know, we're swinging the bats well, squaring balls up. So, I mean, we just got to find the gaps. So.
Definitely, as Josh Hatcher grounds out to first, Scoggins makes the unassisted play. And one of your buddies we know, Nick Brooks, steps in from the right side of the dish, playing right field tonight with 1 out. First pitch to Brooks, misses high and away. How great has it been having Nick back on the team for another season?
Oh, man, it flies whenever he's here. It kind of sucks. But, you know, Brooksy got up here. It's kind of like having somebody from your family come up and visiting you. Me and Brooksy spent a lot of time together last summer, doing it this year as well. You know, Brooksy brings a pretty good, I guess you could say, life to the
some personality.
Big personality guy. You know, he's been through a lot of stuff. So
as he hits a warm burner over to second base, Alivio gathers it and throws over to first in time for out number 2. So 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning, but the Miners do hold a 2-0 lead over the Anchorage Adult All-Stars. And Spencer, what's this year been like compared to last year?
You know, it's been kind of more like a roller coaster this year. You know, last year we kind of settled in kind of early compared to this year. This year we're kind of jumbling around sometimes. You know, we'll play like we got it figured out, and you know the next game won't be as clean. But this team's a lot more talented. Pino just got smoked.
Austin Pinorini gets hit.
Yeah, he deserves it.
I know you guys got into a nice wrestling match before the game yesterday. He said he won. What?
No, he did not win. I was the guy on top after I took him down.
But he said since you hit the ground first.
That's not true. I don't know if you've ever seen a tackling drill, but I mean, you got you kind of have to go down to bring the guy down with you as well.
Of course.
So I mean, I didn't want to just flat out pancake him in front of everybody. So
yeah, that might have been embarrassing.
Brought him down gently. But that's my cornhole partner right there.
Oh well, we experienced that the other night firsthand. You guys are pretty good.
No, we're really good.
That's debatable. You guys did drop the first game in the 3-game series.
Yeah, we're just giving you guys confidence.
Okay, all right. Nevertheless, we are sitting at an 0-1 count with 2 outs as Tyler Bozetti hits one near the right field line. This one is foul. After Felix made that leaping attempt, he wasn't able to get it. Quick recap while we were speaking, Austin Pinorini got hit, so he's standing on first as we have 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. We're joined with utility man, I guess would be your title, Spencer Henson. You had some pitching efforts last night. How good did it feel to get back on the mound?
It felt good, you know. Haven't really got to do it that much in the past year or so. But, I mean, it's like riding a bike. You just kind of just hop back on there and get going. So, yeah, it was good. It was good. A little sore today, but.
Seems like you have the off day considering you're up here in the booth.
Oh, yeah. It's great. Love it.
So the count is 0-2. The pitch into Tyler Bozetti. He taps one over to short. Torres, underhand toss to second in time for out number 3. So considering we have a special guest, we'll sort of speak through the commercial break and to keep this conversation going. Spencer, you mentioned the big game tomorrow. It's been a roller coaster ride. What are the keys to get that win, and sort of what are the things you guys need to lock in on?
Just do the little things. Guy on second base, you got to get him over for the next guy to come up and get him in. A lot of first pitch strikes for our pitchers. That's going to be pretty key. You know, just the main thing is just picking guys up behind you if somebody doesn't get the job done. Making big plays, making big swings when we need to, and, you know, just letting it ride, because I think we are a lot more talented than pretty much anybody in the league in each position. So.
And how important is it for you guys to get that first place spot? Not only does that come with an ABL regular season title, but also home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Oh, it's huge. Where's our record at home? What is it, like 15 and 5?
15 and 6.
15 and 6. So I mean,
that speaks for itself, doesn't it? Yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah.
But yeah. And, you know, we play a lot better here. There's a lot more focus. You know, we're a lot more comfortable playing at our own field, and it'll make Pete pretty happy as well. So
Obviously,
as long as
it's
Pete's
always
happy,
the goal.
we're happy. But yeah, playing here a lot more comfortably, know what to expect, know what to do, and we kind of know what we're getting ourselves into.
So we are in now the top of the second inning. Connor Denning with a 2-run home run in the bottom of the first to give the Miners a 2-0 lead. Currently, real early in this ball game, Scoggins, Felix, and Olivio are due up for the Anchorage Adult All-Stars. And sort of, what are your initial thoughts off this Adult All-Stars team?
Oh, they're great. I talked to a couple of them before the game. They're really good guys. Some of them are a couple years older than me, and some of them are about 10, 15 years older than me. But they're really good guys. They're out here just playing a kid's game just like we are. So, I mean, hats off to them. I love what they do. So, I mean, I'd love to do something like this whenever I'm out of the game as well.
So you would hope that would be in 30 years after a prosperous MLB career, hold up some Silver Slugger awards maybe, have your name plaqued in the Miners Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Although it already might be. I mean, your second year back, not a lot of guys can say they've been on the team for 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to come back. I came back here because everybody treated me so well last year. Small town, kind of like where I'm from. So it was just good to get back here and, you see old faces, see some new faces. I mean, it's hard to beat Alaska. 'Cause I'm a big fisherman anyway, so I mean, you can't beat that as well.
I understand you went fishing yesterday morning?
Day before.
Day before. What'd you catch? How was it out there on the lake or wherever y'all went?
It was good. I mean, caught some silvers, caught some reds. Funny story about that. We got up pretty early. I think I showed up to Ace's house at around 4:30, 4 o'clock, and so we got there. And as soon as we pull in, we're kind of going through like a little trail right by the river, and all of a sudden I noticed the vehicle starts kind of sliding off, and I'm like, oh my God. So I'm telling Ace, you gotta get over, man, you gotta get over, and sure enough, we just end up sliding down right next to the river and got stuck. So.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, I mean, we kind of just left it there and then got in fishing. So everybody else was kind of mad at us because they couldn't get through, but it all buffed out. But $750 later, we got her out. So.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I
didn't have to pay for it, so I'm not too upset.
Derek Scoggins goes down on strikes for the first out in the top of the second inning. Nolan Monahan, the left-handed thrower from Wasilla, still working on the mound. Currently, he sits in a 3-1 count with 1 out in the top of the second inning. LJ Felix at the plate from the right side of the dish. He lines one in between short and third, and LJ Felix has the second hit of the day for the Anchorage Adult All-Stars. And how great has it been playing with Nolan Monahan, a guy that was here last year as well, along with Jake Butcher?
Oh, it's great. They're always competing. Nolan's my host brother, so we get to see a lot of each other. He probably doesn't like to see me as much as I'd like to see him, but it's good. Butchie's out here all the time working, grinding. So is Nolan. Nolan just kind of doesn't say much, but whenever his actions are more louder than his words, which is good. But yeah, he's doing a really good job plugging away for us when we need him, and Butchie is too.
And those are guys that don't get a lot of innings, but when they do, they come in important roles and do their job.
Exactly.
I know your head coach, Ben Taylor, always speaks volumes of those guys, especially Nolan. He said he's the guy, he'll give him a job and it'll get done. Especially, we saw it opening day. I know you weren't here, but you can attest from last year.
Right, yeah. I mean, we didn't expect them to do as much as they did last year. I think they combined for like 70-something innings last year, and they came in some high spots, and they shut it down for us, and it's really good to have guys like that who are inning eaters and can get the job done whenever the staff's kind of low or even whenever it's their time to get a spot start. So, I mean, it's really huge for us.
And speaking of Nolan, he currently sits in an 0-2 count. He'll kick but throw over to first to check on LJ Felix, who reached on a single in the top of the second inning. It's the Miners 2, the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 0, as we're here in Palmer and Herman Brothers Field. Also be here tomorrow night as well for the big game. Felix is on the move. Nolan Monahan's pitch misses high. The throw down is in time for out number 2. And can you speak about how much of a wall David Avizia has been behind the plate this year?
He might be one of probably the best blockers behind the plate I've seen. The kid works his butt off, all the time. And that shows you right there. He's just got quick hands and a really good arm. even right there is nobody on base, and he blocks the ball right there in front of him with nobody on. So I mean, that kind of speaks a lot how he plays the game, and he plays it right. So.
And we just spoke about in the beginning of the broadcast, David's bat hasn't exactly been there all season, but that speaks volumes about a guy who's willing to put in the defense, even though offensively isn't necessarily doing as well as he would like.
It's very hard for a guy to stay pretty even keel like Dave is. He doesn't show a lot of emotion either. So I mean, him coming out and performing as well as he does on defense whenever his bat's really not working for him that day, it really speaks a lot of Dave and how much he loves the game and how much he appreciates the game as well.
So Monahan misses low to Carlos Olivio, and he is on with a walk, and that'll bring up the catcher, Chris Rappel. And once again, we do not have a roster in front of us, unfortunately, so we cannot tell you where exactly some of these young men are from.
I bet you they're from Alaska.
Men of all ages, but, well, guaranteed of Alaska. I'm speaking of colleges maybe or team. Nevertheless, Monahan misses low with his first pitch as Olivio stands on first. Chris Rappel batting from the right side. The catcher tonight batting in the 9 spot as we are joined with utility man Spencer Henson giving us his insight. Always is fun to have the players come on air and just speak about what's going on in the clubhouse. And Spencer leads me into my next question. Who has been sort of the biggest personality in the clubhouse, or a guy that is always getting the jokes flowing?
It's Johnny Guardado. Johnny, which is funny because until the Kenai trip, I always thought Johnny was kind of the funny guy, and until Tristan Woods started rooming with us, he tagged along, and that guy he's pretty monotone, which makes it which I love. So I mean, it kind of reminds me of like Off the Office. That's kind of the personality Tristan has. So I mean, him and Johnny have kind of put their stamp on the clowns in the locker room. So I mean, everybody we had probably the quietest room in Kenai, but it seems like we always had the most foot traffic, so everybody can listen to Woods. And of course, Johnny was right next to us, and Johnny was always in our room picking fun at Woods. So it was always just kind of like a little comedy show in there for me to watch. It was pretty good.
So the count currently sits 1-1 to the leadoff man Gunnar Baum, who struck out in his first at bat. And if you missed anything, Chris Rappel reached on an error by second baseman Connor Denning. So there's runners on first and second for the Anchorage Adult All-Stars. But Nolan Monahan, after a swing and miss, is now ahead in the count 1-2 with 2 outs, as we seem to be having some trouble with some water bottles up here in the booth. Good thing Spencer Henson has a lot better hands on the field. This 1-2 pitch, it's bouncing in the dirt, gets away from David Avitia, and the runners will move to second and third. Not much you can do there as a catcher. Spencer just sort of took a weird hop away from Avitia.
Yeah, especially with this natural ground. There's always getting divots and stuff kicked in by the guys who are hitting or getting out of the box. So you never really know what you're gonna get with a ball in the dirt. You don't know what's gonna do. So.
Well, let's see what Nolan Monahan can do in this 2-2 count. 2 down, top of the second inning, with runners on second and third. His pitch is swung on and missed by Gunnar Baum to end the top of the second inning. The Miners still holding a 2-0 lead over the Anchorage Adult All-Stars. We'll step away for a quick minute, and when we come back, we'll have the bottom of the second inning for you on Mat-Su Miners Radio Network. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Hey y'all, I'm Blake Shelton. I love that country music connects people all over this great nation, but unfortunately so does something else: childhood hunger. 15 million children struggle with hunger in America. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks works to rescue our surplus food to help provide billions of meals to families in need across the country. Join the fight against hunger at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
What's up, guys? This is Spencer Henson, infielder at Oral Roberts University, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
Welcome back into some Matsu Miners baseball, where the Miners lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 2-0 in the bottom of the second inning. We're joined on hand with utility man Spencer Henson, who's been providing some great insight all night long. Thanks for joining us, Spencer.
Thank you guys for having me. It's awesome.
Hope you're having a good time up here in the booth. So due up for the Miners this inning, David Avitia, Tristan Woods, and Braden Merritt. Spencer just talked about how Tristan Woods, sort of a monotone guy, but nevertheless a dry sense of humor, I would have to imagine you're alluding to with Tristan. As Avitia will step up to the box from the right side. You want to talk about David's mustache at all?
It's great. I mean, huge mustache guy. I wish I could grow one. But yeah, Dave's mustache is, I think he's had it ever since he's been here. And it's
he said the only time he shaved it in the past few years was for his team pictures back in the spring. So since then, he's been
definitely a mustache guy for sure.
Growing out a good one. That's much like a lot of the bullpen, especially in the Electric Factory. And what's been your favorite celebration so far out of the Electric Factory?
I haven't got to see much. My favorite one's probably either them rowing the boat or the keg stand. Huge fan of the keg stand. That was pretty good. Or I seen one the other day. They act like they were fishing. They were holding somebody up for a picture. Yep. That was a good one as well.
I think Malachi Emmond is always the base of that, being the fisherman.
He's a hard guy to hold up.
Jeez, don't hate on the man. So yeah, I know. It's good fun. It's good fun. So you guys are leading the league right now in a lot of hitting categories. What do you think has went into that?
Preparation. We're one of the only teams that kind of keep a pitching record of the guys that we've faced already. So we kind of come in, know what to expect, and we kind of have something to sit on when we get up there. So, I mean, and that's all props to Ty. Ty does all of that. So, I mean, that's kind of one of our major things that we look to, because that's a pretty big upper hand before we even get the game started. We always have a meeting before each game about which guy's starting, so who we're going to face.
And he has said that he leads the league in RCI, runs coached in.
Oh,
do you believe that?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
He's definitely a vital role in your guys' scoring, and also on the defensive end, where you guys have been great all season long. Your pitchers not really having to worry about any time a ball's put in play. What do you think's went into that and the confidence on the defensive side of things?
A lot of rips out here. There's quite a bit of rocks in the infield, which we're really not used to because we're too spoiled back home. So. But yeah, a lot of reps out here really speaks for itself. We work really hard while we're in the field. So I mean that kind of helps out when we go somewhere else and play on turf. So, but yeah, a lot of focused up stuff on the infield.
So David Avitia reaches on a walk for the first at bat in the bottom of the second inning, and that brings up Tristan Woods. We've talked about for a few times today. So I'd like to hop on some color right now, Spencer, in this at bat.
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Just your analysis of the at-bat while we go through it.
So put a ball in play. Here we go.
It's a 4-6-3 double play as Tristan Woods grounds into one. So there will be 2 outs now in the bottom of the second inning with Braden Merritt stepping to the dish. What are your thoughts on that play? I know you don't like the result, but break it down.
I mean, you just got to look at how it's been approached. It's not a bad thing. I mean, it's a round ball and a round bat, so I mean, it's kind of hard. He hit the ball hard. It was just you got on top of it a little bit. Not a big deal. He hit the ball hard, so I mean, you really can't do anything about that.
And it's definitely good to see Woods put one in play because he has been struggling the times he has had plate appearances.
Right.
5 of them striking out all 5 times, so it's got to feel good to have that feeling of put a ball in play.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a huge move going forward.
Braden, he ropes one out in right field, but Felix ranging back, he won't be able to make the catch, and Braden Merritt will extend the bottom of the second inning, reaching on an E9 with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Miners leading 2-0.
I mean, just like that as well with Braden. Hit the ball hard, just right to the guy. And, good things happen when you put the ball in play as well. So.
And I think we've noticed that a lot this season as you guys, especially in close games, you just simply put the ball in play, whether it's reaching on an error or a hit, it can really spark a rally as you guys are scoring in bunches a lot this season, we've noticed.
Right.
Is that sort of a mentality you guys have heading into innings, or is it something that just sort of flows?
I mean, it's very hitting's very contagious. So I mean, and we're a team that kind of puts the ball in play quite a bit. So when you put the ball in play, even if it's right at guys, eventually you're gonna make a mistake and you're gonna get on base. So I mean, we really focus on just getting the ball between the white lines and going from there, because good things happen when you put the ball in play.
And you and your teammate Nick Brooks, speaking of hitting, we're in the home run derby. How fun was that experience, especially being with Brooks? I know it didn't go the way you guys wanted to, but speak on just how the overall experience was.
Oh, it was good. Me and Brooksy had quite a bit of trash talking going on before. Some bets were made, who was going to hit more, what was going to happen. But I mean, when you first get up there, it's pretty nerve-wracking, because it's not the same as regular just BP, because you don't have a turtle around you, you don't have anywhere to, you don't have anything enclosed. So I mean, you're kind of wide open, and I caught myself when I got to the timeout, my legs were shaking, and I was like, what in the heck's going on? So I mean, it's kind of an adrenaline rush, which is cool. I think it was the first one I've ever been, like, since I've been older. I had one when I was younger, but I mean, it was a really cool experience to do that. I wish I would have hit more, but you can't really complain about the outcome. It was a good experience to be in.
And we spoke about the other night the team's basketball efforts down in Kenai, and we said how great of a player you were. Did you play basketball back in high school, maybe middle school?
Yeah, I played growing up. I stopped playing my sophomore year and focused on just football and baseball after that. But yeah, I've always had a pretty good feel for the game. My dad was a really good basketball player. Mom was a really good basketball player. So kind of got that from them. A lot of hard work, a lot of practice when I was younger, when I didn't want to go. But I mean, it's kind of approach every sport that I play kind of the same way as baseball. You're either in and you're out, or if you're in, then you got to go all the way in. So.
Exactly. So Danny Wright will strike out for out number 3 to end the second inning, and that'll just about be all the time we have with Spencer. As always, it's a pleasure having you on air. Thanks you for coming up and joining us in the booth. All right, so we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have the third inning on the Mat-Su Minor Radio Network. Mat-Su Minor's internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Minor's jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Aaron Walters from Texas A&M University. I'm a catcher, infielder, and you're listening to Mat-Su Minors Radio.
Welcome back into the third inning with the Miners atop of the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 2-0. And stepping into the plate is the shortstop and second batter, Dimitri Torres. And Nolan Monahan is still on the mound for the Miners. This one is chopped foul and over to the left side. We'll go through the Miners' defensive starters. The man behind the plate tonight is David Avitia. Danny Wright's playing in the hot corner. Tyler Brosetti, the shortstop. Second baseman Connor Denning. Over at first base is Josh Hatcher. In left field is Austin Pinarini. In center field is Braden Merritt. And over in right field is Nick Brooks. Those are the defensive starters for the Mat-Su Miners. This one, too, is fouled off to the right side by Dimitri Torres, who bats from the right side. He actually walked back in his first at-bat and then moved over and then was caught stealing by David Avitia after he had a nice block of the ball, and now Torres is rung up on looking at a fastball on the lower portion of the plate for out number 1 in the third inning. So Monahan really working well tonight, as that is his 4th strikeout of the contest. And that'll bring up Jake Ridley, the designated hitter. Comes in from the right side.
Nolan's just looking really well tonight on the mound, just having fun. Relaxed atmosphere here in Herman Brothers and just doing what he does best.
So he gets Ridley to swing and miss on a first pitch. He's ahead in the count 0-1. Monahan working from the line. This fastball hits right before home plate. So the count will go to 1-1 with one out. As the Miners, pitching-wise, they're second in ERA with 2.96 and are also second in batting average allowed with 2.11. As Monahan has not allowed a run yet tonight and only 2 hits as he misses low and away with a ball to the right-handed hitting Ridley. Ridley had a base hit in his first at-bat in the first inning as he fouls this one off to the right side. The count is now 2-2. So Connor Denning had a 2-run home run back in the first inning to put the Miners ahead 2-0. As Monahan, a long look in to David Vitia. He winds and deals. This pitch is flared off into right field. It'll go out of play. So the count will stay 2-2. And it was pretty cool before the game. Miners GM Pete Christopher was honored by Kathy Tilton as he got a legislative citation for the championship-winning Miners last season, their second straight title in a row, as they're in search for a third straight title, as this one is fouled straight back by Jake Ridley. And they have a great chance to do so as they sit ahead of the Bucks by a game and a half. In a out-of-town update, the Chinooks are currently leading the Bucks 3-0. And if the Chinooks do go on to win that ball game, the Bucks will be eliminated for contention of the first-place seed. Monahan misses high 3-2, which would relieve a lot of stress for the Miners heading into tomorrow's game, as it would not be a must-win game, already having clinched the ABL regular season title, which would be the third year in a row of doing so.
And then also we were talking with manager Ben Taylor after the game in the clubhouse yesterday, and he gave us an interesting stat. For the past 3 years, the Miners have not lost a season series against any of the teams in the ABL.
And currently that season series sits at 5 apiece, so they'll definitely be trying to win that game for season series purposes. As this one is fouled off over to the right side, we still have a full count between Nolan Monahan and Jake Ridley, a lefty on righty matchup. Monahan, his payoff pitch, yet again fouled off to the right, so we'll stay this at bat alive as right-hander is up in the pen for the Miners. No action up in the Anchorage Adult All-Stars bullpen. Nevertheless, Monahan, his payoff pitch. This one is shot high in the air at the right field, near the right field line. Moving over quickly is Nick Brooks making the basket catch for out number 2.
Just really a nice play from Brooks, ranging all the way into foul territory, going underhand and making the basket catch. Just really nice job.
As we hear the update yet again, Chinooks still leading 3-0 as it brings Dylan Lawers. Wow, that's an interesting name to the plate. The left-handed hitting left fielder from the Cubs of the AABL. Monahan nails the lower outside portion of the plate, 0-1.
Well, it's also a little bit weird that there's no other broadcast team here with us today.
No,
it's
there's
just
not.
us up in the press box and Wolfgang Winter.
Yeah, it's a little quiet tonight. Normally quiet as Monahan now he works ahead in the count, 0-2 with 2 outs. Nolan Monahan trying to end the top half of the third inning. His pitch. This one tapped right back up the middle. He got some leather on it, but it'll roll by him. He will not try to make the quick throw as he ran down the ball. So Dylan Lawers reaches on an infield single. That would be a tough play for Monahan to make, but nice job getting a piece of leather on it.
Yeah, trying to get a piece of leather, and he knows anything up the middle is always going to be tough for your middle infielders to try and get, and Monahan just trying to do his best. Just a little bit too hard hit for him to get the full glove on it.
So now the third baseman from the Chinooks of the AABL stands in from the right side, Hugo De La Cruz. He swings through a first pitch from Nolan Monahan, 0-1. So Lawers is on first with 2 outs. Another lefty on righty matchup for Nolan Monahan. He comes set from his waist, kicks and offers. This pitch misses high as Avitia had to reach up to grab that one. 1-1. De La Cruz struck out to end the top of the first inning in his last at-bat. If he did so now as well, it would be the same result. So Monahan looking in. His 1-1 pitch. This one nails the lower inside corner to the right-handed hitting De La Cruz. He is now ahead in the count, 1-2. Monahan already with 4 strikeouts tonight through 3 innings. Trying to follow up a nice pitching performance yesterday, although it was an exhibition game. Miners only allowing that 1 run. So Monahan, his 1-2 is fouled off over to the right side. A bit of a jam job into Hugo De La Cruz from the Chinooks of the AABL. As we mentioned, there is 6 teams in the AABL. as the All-Stars fell last year to the Miners 5-0, as the Miners had 7 hits in that ball game. As this pitch misses low in the dirt, Avita has trouble handling it, and it'll roll by him, and moving into second base is Dylan Lawlers. So 2-2 is the count with 2 outs in the top of the third inning. The Miners atop of the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 2-0. So Monahan with a runner in scoring position comes set. Kicks, deals. This one flared. Shallow second base. Connor Denning, after originally taking a step back, takes a few steps in and makes the catch for out number 3. So Nolan Monahan allows a hit, but that's all in the top of the third inning as the Miners still lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 2-0 on the Mat-Su Miners Radio Network. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Hey y'all, I'm Blake Shelton. I love that country music connects people all over this great nation, but unfortunately so does something else, childhood hunger. 15 million children struggle with hunger in America. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks works to rescue our surplus food to help provide billions of meals to families in need across the country. Join the fight against hunger at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey, I'm Tyler Bassetti. I'm from Nevada, Reno, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Baseball.
2-0 is your score as we enter the home half of the third inning here at Herman Brothers Field in Palmer, Alaska, between the Anchorage Adult All-Stars and the Mat-Su Miners, as we have a defensive substitution in center field, as Gunnar Brum, the original center fielder, will come out for number 11, which we are unaware of currently on our roster. It was not given to us, the numbers, so nevertheless we'll try to figure that out as soon as possible. And it seems like we have another Miner in the booth, the man of many words, catcher, outfielder, infielder. He sort of does it all. Aaron Walters. How we doing, Aaron?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Doing very well. I mean, the Miners are winning, so can't complain at all, as Connor Denning, the man that gave the Miners those 2 RBIs, stands in from the left side of the dish, the switch-hitting second baseman out of Mesa Community College. And what do you think of Connor's home run?
Oh, I think he got pretty good amount of it. I mean, he didn't look like he squared it, but he still got plenty of it to get it out.
So still on the mound is Kyle Bovey, as he misses low and away. The count is 1-1. So, Aaron, another exhibition today. We asked Spencer Henson his thoughts before heading into a game like this. What are yours?
I mean, I think it's just a good time to come out here and have a lot of fun. Just play another game. And, I mean, get some guys that haven't had much playing time and have a lot of fun out here.
And so what is your thoughts being up here in Alaska so far? Maybe what is the most fun thing you've done up here in the last frontier?
Oh, I think about going fishing a whole lot. Last time I went, I caught a couple really good silvers. They're about 12 pounds. I mean, it put up a really good fight, so that was pretty fun.
And that's always good. I understand you're a big hunter as well down in Texas.
Yeah, I've had my fair share.
So you had your family come up a few weeks ago. How fun was that to share this experience with them?
Oh, it was really fun. They went out to the glacier that we went out to, and we went out to the gold mine out just on the other side of Palmer, which was had a lot of fun doing that. Great views. Gold mine was pretty fun, or pretty cool, because of how they up on top of the mountains, how they got up there, and it was awesome.
Did you see any golds when you went into gold mines?
No, I wish I did. Wish I did, but I didn't.
Connor Denning lead things off in the bottom of the third with a walk. That'll bring up Josh Hatcher, the left-handed hitting first baseman, with nobody out in the bottom of the third. Kyle Bovey misses outside, 1-0. And Josh Hatcher came a little late. Aaron, how has he sort of gelled into this team with the Miners?
I think he's gelled in really well. I mean, he's a great guy to be around. He's always happy to be here. A lot of fun at the ballpark when he's here, I can tell you that.
As he flies out to center field for out number 1, we have Aaron Walters from Texas A&M on hand. And what have your thoughts been so far on this team? You guys are first and hitting and very close to first and pitching-wise, just sitting second in most categories. So what have your thoughts and feelings been throughout this team throughout the summer?
Oh, we've had a really great summer, I think. Hopefully that the Bucks lose tonight. I heard that they're losing right
They
now.
are. They're down 3-0 to the Chinooks.
Yeah. It's been a really great summer. I love it up here. I know most of the kids up here really love it too.
Any aspirations to come back possibly in the near future? Or?
Oh, I'm definitely going to come back and come fishing or hunting. I can tell you that.
And so I know in the South you guys have some pretty good sweet tea. Well, how does it compare to the sweet tea up here?
Nothing like it. I think the only place I've gotten sweet teas at is McDonald's, and it's the same as the South.
Well, McDonald's, I would imagine, is pretty similar to McDonald's down in Texas. And speaking of the Texas weather, I should say, how's it been adapting to sort of these cooler temperatures up here in Alaska?
Oh, I love the cold. It's gonna be hard for me to when I go back to get used to it, because in College Station, it's like 100 degrees with 70% humidity almost every day. So that's gonna be hard for me to get used to.
And definitely, we noticed that a few times you guys have to sort of warm up a little more maybe. And have you ever experienced temperatures throughout a whole season like this?
Not throughout a whole season. I mean, like maybe a couple weekends in Texas, but not a whole season.
As the count currently sits 1-2 to Nick Brooks with 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Josh Hatcher flew out in the last at-bat, so Brooks standing in from the right side. How nice was it getting the veteran presence in Brooks onto this team just a few short weeks ago?
Oh, it was a great add to the team, because, I mean, he knows his approach, and I mean he knows what he's doing. That's the joy of it.
So unfortunately, Brooksy does ground into a 4-6-3 double play. That'll end the 3rd inning. We'll step away for a short little break, and when we come back, we'll have the top of the 4th inning for you on the Mat-Su Miners Radio Network. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live.
This is Aaron Walters from Texas A&M University. I'm a catcher, infielder, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
Welcome back into Palmer, Alaska, where the Miners hold a 2-0 lead over the Anchorage Adult All-Stars, as we're still joined by Aaron Walters, the sort of Mr. Everything sort of man, you could say. And have you always been playing every position your whole life, or sort of just filled in where no one was back in like Little League and it adapted?
I mean, in high school, the only thing I did was pitch and catch, and I played one game at short in high school. But in the summer, I would play everywhere. I'd even play like shortstop, and I'd play third, right, catch a little bit. So yeah, I kind of played everywhere in the summer, but not in high school.
All right, and we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Miners out of Palmer, Alaska. Went to Colony High School, which is just down the road from Herman Brothers Field, and Jacob Butcher. In 4 appearances this season, Butcher has had 1 start in 7 2/3 innings pitched with a 5.87 ERA, has gathered up a record of 0-1 with 2 strikeouts and 5 walks as well. He'll be facing Derek Scoggins, LJ Felix, and Carlos Olivio of the Anchorage Adult All-Stars. His first pitch misses low and away. And Aaron, we were talking the other night about your track career. You want to elaborate on your senior season?
Yeah.
Track in high school?
This is my junior year.
Or junior year. My apologies.
My junior year, I ran the 4x1 relay, the 4x2 relay, and the 4x4 relay, and threw discus.
Oh, wow. So you did it all.
Yeah, I did it all.
And you said it was such a joy being in all those events, especially the running ones.
Yeah, I mean, the most fun one was definitely the 4x4. That definitely killed me, I can tell you that.
And it's at the end of the meet, though, so it's exciting because sometimes meet goes down to it. Which leg of the relay did you run?
I think I was the third leg.
Okay, all right. So you hopefully gave it off to the anchor in the lead.
Yeah.
If not, close the gap a little bit from the first two guys. Nevertheless, Derek Scoggins grounds out to Tyler Bozzetti at short for the first out of the game as this ball goes right back to Bozzetti. A weird hop, but he takes it well and throws to first in time for out number 2. Bozzetti playing a little out of position today. Aaron playing short today where he normally plays third for the Miners. How great has he been in the hot corner?
Oh, he's been really great. He's made some heck of plays, especially on pop-ups down the line. I mean, he really gets down there and makes really good adjustments to the ball.
And one of the many positions you said you do play is catcher. How nice has it been catching this great pitching staff that the Miners have provided?
Oh, it's been really great. I don't have to work very hard because they hit their spots really well and have a little giddy up to their stuff.
And did you catch your Texas A&M teammate Asa Lacey a lot this season, or was this sort of new catching him this year?
I mean, I caught some of his bullpens, but I mainly played outfield at Texas A&M.
As Carlos Olivio misses at this pitch low and in the dirt. So Jacob Butcher, he's ahead in the count 0-2 as he tries to work a perfect inning of relief here in the fourth. He comes set from his chest. His 0-2 pitch is looked at, just misses outside. The count goes 1-2 with 2 outs. In the top of the fourth inning, we're joined with Aaron Walters. And Aaron, how fun has the clubhouse been this season?
Oh, really fun. I mean, even after losses, I mean, they tell us, like, get over it and, I mean, get the music going. I mean, on to the next game. You don't, like, think about the past. I mean, you just let it go. Flush it.
Necessarily dwell on the previous experiences. So Olivio will fly out to end the visiting half of the fourth inning. Aaron, it's been a pleasure having you on the broadcast. Thanks for coming on.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
And we'll step aside for a little bit as the Miners lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 2-0 on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
This is Ian Churchill, pitcher for the Miners from Santa Barbara City College. Giving a little shout out to all the SB Lokes out there. You're listening to Miners Radio.
Welcome back in for this contest between the Anchorage Adult All-Stars and the Matsu Miners, an exhibition game where the Miners are currently leading 2-0 as we enter in the home half of the fourth inning. And another new guest, the right-handed thrower from Arizona, Jonathan Guardado, otherwise known as Johnny G. How we doing today?
Check.
Your mic is working, yes.
We got you.
You're all good.
Doing great.
You doing well? We're doing pretty well. Anytime the Miners are leading, you can't complain at all. As Pinarini, Bozzetti, and Aviti are due up in this inning. So Jonathan, Spencer Henson said you are one of the funniest guys in the clubhouse. What do you have to think about that?
Trying to be myself. The right-hander goes in, throws a pitch. Austin Pinarini takes it outside.
All right, so we have a new play-by-play man in the building. Jonathan Guardado, take it away.
All right, I got this right here. And number 7, pitcher, right-handed, comes to a set, looks both ways, throws a pitch, and slightly misses outside as Austin Pinarini clears the box, clears his head, grabs his helmet, and steps right back in. For those of you that don't know, folks, Austin Pinarini is a power left-handed hitter. Here comes a fastball, dangerous count, and misses away. Smart guy not to go in on Austin Pinarini.
Pinarini does have 1 home run this season.
Pinerini is a catcher from Gonzaga.
That is a fact.
Yes. Pinerini also has the best facial hair on the team.
I don't know about that. Facial hair?
Yes, sir.
You don't think David Avitia does?
No.
No? Okay.
Austin Pinerini.
Interesting opinion.
Avitia doesn't have that, the sideburns like Austin Pinerini.
Oh, all right. Well, all right. Got to give him to him there.
Them Gonzaga boys, you know. Here comes the 3-1 pitch, and slider taken just a bit up. Anyways, so what were you guys saying?
Austin Pinerini reaches on a walk in the bottom of the 4th inning. Johnny, we're just having a casual conversation, and you're here with your Arizona teammate, Josh Haley. How nice was it to have a teammate making the transition in up to Alaska?
I mean, it was good. You know, when we first came out here, had someone to talk to, but it's just like a little brother to me.
You guys are the same age, though.
I know, but I always got to watch after him. Make sure he's up in time. Make sure he ate. Make sure he ate already. Make sure showered. Make sure he cleaned. You know, just a little brother. Piece of gum stuck to your shoe.
All right. So Tyler Bozzetti stands in from the right side of the dish. It's a 1-0 count. This is a liner into left field. It'll take a few hops before Lowers will get to it. And now the Miners with runners on first and second. And Johnny G, the offense has been pretty good for Matsu this year, and for you guys, I should say. How nice is that when you're on the mound pitching, knowing that you're going to have some run support coming up in the inning that they bat?
I mean, that's good to know because when you're on the mound, I always try to keep the team to zero runs, but when I let up a couple of runs, I know that my offense has my back.
And the other night, you pitched in the rain. I know you struggled with the your glasses, your sports glasses with that. What was that like pitching in the downpour?
Not fun. Glasses got fogged up, hard to see the catcher, but, I mean.
Have you ever really experienced that before? I know you're from California, but.
No, in Arizona, we usually pitch in the blazing hot heat. So, I mean, it was the first time in a while pitching in rain. And kept my glasses foggy, so that was my main problem.
And I understand back in high school you were a standout linebacker, I believe. You want to talk about your football career back in the prep days?
Yeah, I was a defensive end, tight end. Not much of a tight end, though, but what happened there?
No, he's good. He got back.
It was a catch by Felix in right field. He threw in to try to get Pinerini off guard, but he did make it back in time, so only one out will be recorded on that swing as Tristan Woods steps up to the plate with one out in the bottom of the 4th inning.
No, but yeah, I was a defensive end. Coming out of season, when the season ended, my senior year, I had a couple offers, but if baseball didn't work out, I thought football was my backup plan. Especially my high school coaches helped me out. Like, they developed me, make sure I was on the right track. So I give special thanks to them. And as we take a moment here and watch the best hitter in the ABL.
As I'm sure it must have been nice playing both sports. I'm sure you learned a little bit from both. How much did your football career help you into your baseball career? Did you take any, things away from it, I should say?
It basically helped me get into shape, had something to do, get stronger, get a little faster, even though I'm not the fastest one out there. But, just creating that bond, knowing, playing with the bunch of football players, and you create that special bond because you go out there once a week, 10 weeks, and, you're basically throwing your body out there and going up. It's your best 11 guys against the other team's best 11 guys. And that bond that you create throughout the season with the other guys, just great. You get closer each practice. And then our high school, we had team dinners every Thursday night before our games, and we just talked, bonding experience. So it was great.
And speaking of bonding, how much do you think you guys have bonded this summer throughout this minors team?
A lot, because I remember when we first got here, people were kind of shy. People were shy. People were in their shells. But throughout the season, we're basically with each other every single day, about 8 hours a day. So I mean, you get to know each other. You get to get closer to them. Just so misses away. You get to get closer to them, and so I mean, seeing each other every single day, you get used to each other, and it's pretty cool.
So the count currently sits 2-0 with one out to the left-handed hitting Tristan Woods. He's the designated hitter tonight, batting 8th. This 2-0 pitch misses low. 3-0 is the count. The Miners, with runners on first and second, already hold a 2-0 lead. We're speaking here with the right-hand pitcher from Arizona, Jonathan Guardado. And Johnny G, we talked on the Kenai trip. You speak Spanish as well. So you maybe want to give some commentary in Spanish?
That's a hit. No way that's a hit.
And Tristan Woods lines one up the middle for a hit. Austin Pinerini around third scoring. Tristan Woods with an RBI single to extend this Miners lead 3-0 in the bottom of the fourth inning. Well, that was pretty exciting.
That was really exciting. He's going to be player of the game.
So,
call?
Oh, he has a tip of the cap to the bullpen as Tristan Woods is celebrated greatly. A local guy from Anchorage, Alaska. Cool to see him deliver big for the Miners. So the Miners now lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 3-0 thanks to Tristan Woods' RBI single in the bottom of the fourth inning. That brings up Braden Merritt from the left side of the dish as he hits one out into left center field. Moving back are the center and left fielders. They won't be able to get to it. Around third and scoring is Tyler Bozetti. Tristan Woods on his horse. He'll get into third base, and Braden Merritt delivers an RBI hit as well with a double in the bottom of the fourth. The Miners now lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 5-0. That's the same score. That was the final score of last year's contest, already reaching it as we're in the bottom of the fourth. So Braden Merritt, who now has reached twice tonight, has an RBI single, and the Miners have runners on second and third. So, Johnny G, going back, you want to give us a little maybe play-by-play commentary in Spanish?
Yeah.
All right. Well, apparently we're going to have to wait a little longer as the second baseman, Olivia, makes the ice cream cone catch and then throws the second to double up Braden Merritt, but not before the Miners get across 2 runs in the bottom of the fourth inning. They now lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 5-0, or rather 4-0. Scratch that, as we'll be right back on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
This is Kona Quiggle, outfield infield from Grand Canyon University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Welcome back into the top of the fifth inning between the Anchorage Adult All-Stars and the Matsu Miners. The Miners leading 4-0 after scoring 2 in the bottom of the fourth inning. And for this next inning, we'll throw it over to our guest commentator of the evening, Jonathan Guardado. The show is yours.
Welcome back, Miners fans, and I'm here to take you guys through this half inning as Jake Butcher comes to the stretch and lifts his high leg kick and pumps a heater inside for a foul ball. As you guys may not know, Jacob Butcher did play for the Miners last year. He combined for 70 innings with Nolan Monahan.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yes, sir. So Jacob Butcher pumps up fastball right by him as probably what do you think that hit, 89?
Yeah, somewhere around 89. We don't have the velo yet.
Yeah, 88, 89. You know, Jacob Butcher, hard slider thrower. Here comes another one, slider, as I just mentioned, as he hooks it to third base. Danny Wright makes a throw in, out for sure. You guys may not know, Miners have the best defense in the ABL.
Least amount of errors in the ABL.
Least amount of errors. Probably say Go Glover is either Drew Swift or Kona Quiggle. You guys see Kona Quiggle, if you guys see him.
Yeah, he's right behind us. He'll be our next guest commentator, but you got the show right now.
So Jake Butcher comes in the stretch, waits for his sign from David Ovidia. David Ovidia catching from GCU. Pretty nice arm, huh?
Who apparently does not have the best facial hair in the league, according to yourself.
Kona, who do you think has the best facial hair in the league?
He's going David.
He said David.
I said Pinorini. As you guys see there, look just a bit inside, as he is not afraid to throw inside. So here we come. Jacob Butcher resets in the back of the mound with the ball in one hand and his glove in his other. Takes in the sign from David Ovidia, throws a fastball and strike. I love it when the umpires lift up that right arm. Don't you guys?
Yeah, it's nice, especially when it's for us.
Especially when it's for us. When it's not for us, then it makes me upset. But here comes Jake Butcher with the fastball for inside, and almost hit one of those birds, but hopefully they have insurance. Everything should be fine. So 2-2 count for Jake Butcher, as he will most likely throw a slider, and the guy's gonna swing and miss.
All right, that's a bold prediction.
He's shaking off a couple though.
Yeah, he wants a slider. Oh, he threw a slider, but Austin Pinorini is going to chase that down. Yes, sir. Austin Pinorini, two-way guy from Gonzaga. Caught 50, how many games at Gonzaga?
I believe 45 games total was around where he was. It could be 50. I'm not sure on the exact number. But it was a nice over-the-hand catch for the second out of the inning.
Yes, sir, it was. And Jake Butcher steps into, toes the rubber, takes a sign from David Ovidia, and a fastball that is just a bit high. Barely missed the zone, but the hitter seems to be ready, and so is Jake Butcher as he comes back with another fastball just outside. I don't know where that missed, but I need to clean my glasses because I thought that was a strike. Here we go, 2-0. Jake Butcher doesn't need a reset. Lifts up his hard left leg, and it's a fly ball to Nick Brooks. Yes, sir. All right. Well, nice. Thank you, Miners fans, for letting me be on this radio show with the best fans in America.
Definitely. So another 3-up, 3-down inning for Jake Butcher as that ends the top of the fifth inning. The Miners still lead 2-0 over the Anchorage Adult All-Stars. And Jonathan Guardado, thank you for your time. Thanks for joining us here in the broadcast booth, also giving us a little bit of play-by-play commentary as well. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll have the bottom of the fifth inning for you on Matsu Miner Radio Network. Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
This is Kona Quiggle, outfield infield from Grand Canyon University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Welcome back into the bottom of the fifth inning here at Herman Brothers Field in Palmer, Alaska. The Miners lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 4-0 as Connor Denning, Josh Hatcher, and Nick Brooks are due up for the Miners. There is a new pitcher on the mound, left-handed thrower. Yet again, we were not given numbers or names as there is some more defensive adjustments. Nevertheless, we are joined with another guest commentator, Kona Quiggle, infield and outfield. Kona from GCU, how are we feeling today?
We're feeling great. Beautiful day out today for some baseball.
And so we sort of asked everybody on this broadcast, what is sort of your preparation and feelings going into an exhibition game as we played one last night and now tonight?
Just kind of get back on track, you know. We struggled a little bit the last couple games, so we're here to get on track, get our swings right, and just, you know, win, play some good baseball, get ready for the playoffs.
And how fun is it for you guys to relax? I know we've had players come in and out of the booth all night long. You guys normally wouldn't get to do this on a normal game day, so how fun has it been?
Oh, it's a blast. You know, we're having fun in the dugout, and we get to come, you know, in and out of here and going down to the pen, you know, just hanging out. It's a lot of fun watching some baseball, so it's a good time.
So Connor Denning will step in from the right side of the plate. Denning's had himself quite a nice night, a 2-run home run back in the first inning, a walk back in the third. How cool was it to see Connor finally hit one out in a game as he's done so many times in batting practice?
Yeah, that was good. I mean, he's a great player. You know, he had a great year at JUCO, and he's been struggling a little bit, but that was fun to watch. I mean, you know he has that kind of power. We see it every day, but that was good to see.
And a guy that's really taking advantage of his most recent opportunities. Yesterday, playing in the exhibition game, got a hit and also a walk. Today, a walk and a home run. And then back in the game one against the Chinooks, had a few hits as well. So how nice is it seeing him taking advantage of the opportunities he's given?
It's good. I mean, especially in summer, you always want to get better, you know, and that was good. It's good to watch.
So this one over to short. And Connor Denning will beat out the throw, so give him another hit. And the Miners now have 5 on the night as Connor Denning hustles out an infield single. That throw is not in time as he leads things off for the Miners with a hit. They now have had a leadoff batter on base every single inning in this ball game as we're in the bottom of the 5th with Josh Hatcher stepping up to the plate from the left side. So, Kona, you've had a great year. We've noticed some batting glove adjustments. I know you and I sort of talked about it. Any superstition or anything behind it?
No. My old batting gloves have a hole in them, and they don't have a Dick's Sporting Goods up here, so I'm not going to waste the warranty I bought. Oh, there it is, Hatch.
And this one is shot into left center field. It's going to get to the wall. Connor Denning hustling around second. He'll move into third. He'll try to score as Josh Hatcher scoots into second. Connor Denning will score as the Miners now lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 5-0, as that was the score, the game's final score last year. So the Miners already with those 5 runs in 5 innings. And Kona, you guys have been hitting well all season. Definitely showing tonight how nice has it been that you guys haven't necessarily had to rely on one guy to get that big hit.
It takes a lot of pressure off, you know. You know that you don't have to do it all in one at bat or just that one person. So you got to trust your teammates, and it makes hitting a lot more fun and easier.
And we'll talk about the guy at the plate, Nick Brooks. How nice has it been to bring another power guy into the lineup?
It's good. I love every time he gets up to the plate, I'm expecting him to hit a home run. I mean, it's fun to watch him. He's a big guy, and he can hit the ball. That's for sure.
So Brooks stands in from the right side after Josh Hatcher delivers an RBI double in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Miners now lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 5-0 as they're Miners trying to win this game in back-to-back years. So you guys could have a big game tomorrow against the Bucks as they currently trail the Chinooks 4-2. If they lose that game, you guys will clinch the ABL title. But how important is it for you guys to win the ABL regular season title and get that first seed in the playoffs?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, we want to play in front of our fans, and we want to play at home field, you know. Nobody wants to go to Anchorage. Nobody wants to drive an hour to Anchorage. I mean, it's no fun. So we want to stay here and hopefully win out here at home in front of our fans.
And you want to talk about that community support that comes in and night out at Herman Brothers Field and also online through social media or through the fans tuning in on the broadcast. How great has that been? Really, Palmer really embraces you guys so greatly. How wonderful has that been for you players?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, they come out strong every night, rain or not, and they're always here. And we got regulars that are here every day. Some come really early, and you just see it in the community, you know. They're always saying hi to us and stuff, and it's awesome. We love it.
So Nick Brooks draws a walk. Now the Miners with runners on first and second with nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. They've already scored once this inning as they lead 5-0. We're joined in with Kona Quiggle. And Kona, how fun has the clubhouse been this season, and who is the funniest guy in your mind? As Jonathan Guardado's name's been thrown out there, Tristan Woods, so who's sort of your pick?
We got a whole bunch of guys, you know, a whole bunch of guys that are just always in good mood, you know, and keeping everything light. But I'm going to have to go Johnny. Johnny's up there. Tristan can be, but they're 2 different animals. I mean, one guy tries to be funny, and one just doesn't know what he's doing and makes it funny. But I would say Johnny probably. Johnny's up there.
Pino lines one right up the middle. This one will get in the left field. Josh Hatcher will move around third. He'll sprint into home as Austin Pinarini delivers on an RBI single as the Miners now lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 6-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Kona, I know this is an exhibition game, but the bats have been struggling of late, so it's nice to see some run production.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the coaches talked to us about it on, I think it was Friday or Thursday after that loss. You know, getting these next 2 games, using them to find the barrel, start hitting. You just feel good and feel comfortable for these next couple weeks coming up because we've been struggling a little bit, but this is good. This is going to be big for us.
And this has to be nice, playing 2 exhibition games, really tune-up games where you can relax before a tough stretch coming up, a possible ABL regular season championship game tomorrow, and then the playoffs coming up in a few days. So it has to be nice to relax.
Yes. I mean, this is, like I said, tune-up. That's the perfect word for it. I mean, just tuning up, getting ready to go for the long stretch here.
So Tyler Bozetti stands in, the right-handed hitting shortstop today. He pops one into right field. Underneath of it, making the catch. For out number 2 is the Anchorage Adult All-Stars right fielder, as the Miners, actually that is the first out of the inning, beg your pardon, as your teammate and roommate for the summer, David Avitia, steps up to the plate. How nice has it been living with David?
It's a great time. He's an awesome guy, funny man. We get along really well, and he's just a great, solid dude. Good time to be around.
So David stands in from the right side of the plate. David had a nice night from the dish as well. He's sort of been struggling at the plate, but how nice was it seeing David play well yesterday?
It was good. I mean, he's an excellent hitter. He always has been. I mean, I've heard about him. He grew up near me, so I've heard about him all through high school, and he's a slugger, that's for sure. And he's been struggling a little bit, but he's going to come around for sure.
And how weird has it been, the transition from playing in Arizona, where I understand it's sunny and very dry all the time, where to Alaska it's a bit cooler and a little bit wetter temperatures?
This is better, that's for sure. I mean, I heard it's 120 right now in Arizona.
Whew.
And it's baseball season there too, so this is nice. Clouds and rain, I'll take it.
Definitely, as there is a lot of Grand Canyon presence throughout the ABL. How nice is it seeing some of your spring teammates around the league?
It's fun. It's always good. I mean, summer baseball, it's supposed to, just working on stuff and getting better. So it's fun to see guys and mess around on the field, have a good time, but also try to win.
So the count currently sits 2-1. The pitch into David Avitia misses high and away. The count will move to 3-1 with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Miners with runners on first and second. We're chatting with Kona Quiggle out of Phoenix, Arizona. And Kona, understand that you're using the man on first base's batting gloves right now. We just talked about how you said you didn't want to use the warranty, but they are Austin Pinarini's.
They're actually Nick Brooks.
Nick Brooks, okay.
Yeah, so he the first day he came in, Josh Haley, our pitcher, asked him for some, and Haley, being a pitcher, will never use them. So I asked him if I could just borrow them for the rest of the summer so I don't have to buy new batting gloves.
As your Grand Canyon teammate David Avitia draws a walk, so the bases will be loaded now for Tristan Woods, who came up big time last inning with an RBI single. You understand Tristan Woods is one of those funny guys, monotoned, so it's nice to see him get some hits tonight, or rather just one hit, but put the ball in play both times as he struck out in all 5 at-bats so far this year.
Yeah, he took 2 years off baseball, so he's just coming back, trying to learn how to, play and hit again, and it's fun to watch. He's a good guy.
As he has an RBI to his name tonight, Tristan Woods out of Service High School in Anchorage, Alaska, bats from the left side with sort of that open stance as the count is 0-1. So the pitch into Woods. He swings and misses at the inside off-speed pitch. The count's now 0-2 with 1 out.
These are way in. Woods got to lay off those balls, Woods. Let's see what we got here. Lefty on lefty. That's never fun.
Coming set, 0-2. Pitch on its way. Woods looks at it as it's a high one, 1-2. And how fun has it been, the coaches sort of interacting with you guys? I know you guys always share a lot of laughs in BP. Is that something you've experienced before in your career?
No, not regularly. I mean, these guys are really, really like close to us. I don't want to call them friends, but we get along really well and always keeping it light.
As Woods bounces one up the middle, a 4 unassisted touching second and then throw over to first in time for the double play. So that'll end the bottom of the 5th inning, but not before the Miners get across a couple of runs. They now lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 6-0. So, Kona, thank you for your time up in the booth. Always a pleasure. And we'll step aside as the Miners lead 6-0 over the Anchorage Adult All-Stars on the Matsu Miners Internet Radio. Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Hey Hey y'all, I'm Blake Shelton. I love that country music connects people all over this great nation, but unfortunately so does something else, childhood hunger. 15 million children struggle with hunger in America. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks works to rescue our surplus food to help provide billions of meals to families in need across the country. Join the fight against hunger at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Brady Corrigan, right-handed pitcher from Arizona State, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Welcome back into Herman Brothers Field, where the Miners hold a 6-0 lead over the Anchorage Adult All-Stars as they scored 2 in the bottom of the 5th inning. We sit in the top of the 6th with a new pitcher on the mound, Noah Cordova, and coincidentally, his roommate is now in the house, right-handed starting pitcher from Arizona State, Brady Corrigan. How are we doing today, Brady?
Doing good. Miners are up 6-0 here, so it's a great day.
And Brady, we've had you on the broadcast numerous times, last time coming in Shugiak, where you provided some pretty good color commentary, so a lot of big expectations today sitting in at the booth.
Yeah, thank you. Hope to bring the same today.
So Ridley and Lawers and De La Cruz are due up, but it seems like we'll have some pinch hitters or new guys step in the box. And living with Noah, how's that been throughout the summer?
It's been good. He's actually from the Phoenix area, but I didn't know him prior to coming up here. So I've got to know him pretty well. He's a real cool guy, real relaxed, so it's been nice.
So stepping up to the plate will be number 93 now, Joe Miller. Thanks to our PA man, Wolfgang Winter, for pointing that out for us. A left-handed batter. He steps in for Jake Ridley. So Cordova's first pitch. This misses outside. The count will go to 1-0. Cordova has appeared in 15 games this season, one of them being a start in 20 2/3 innings pitched, has a 3.48 ERA, a 1-1 record with 11 strikeouts and 10 walks as well. So has to feel good for Noah Brady coming out of junior college, signing with the Division I school in Cal State Bakersfield.
Yeah, that's definitely cool. That's obviously was his goal. Going to JUCO was to get a Division I offer, and worked out for him. He's got one of his teammates from Alaska. Kyle King will be up there with him, so that should be a good time for those two.
Definitely, as he currently sits in a 2-1 count, as Miller, a hefty cut at that one. The count is now all tied up at 2, and we've talked about to other guys about the temperature change, but for you it's not too big of a difference. Being from Illinois, you had to be used to sort of this temperature back in your prep ball days.
Yeah, very true. This is really similar to a spring game in Illinois.
So Miller goes down on strikes for the first out in the 6th inning. And being from Illinois, we understand you have some Ohio connections worked out with Ohio University's very own Joe Hennessy, if you're listening out there, Joe. So a bit of a connection right there is pretty neat.
Yeah, we played each other a couple times high school basketball, got to know each other a little bit. So it's a small world. Never know when you're going to run into somebody.
Yeah. So high school basketball, what sort of positions did you play, and why didn't we see you out in the court in Kenai?
I was a forward, and Kenai, I don't remember about it. The first day, I think it was the day after I pitched, so I always like to work out after I pitch. And then after that, they kind of shut down the basketball, so I didn't get a chance to show off the skills.
Oh, well, that's no good, as this one's popped, but lands in foul territory. So the count goes 1-2 on the right-handed hitter for the Anchorage Adult All-Stars. And what's your preparation been like before these 2 exhibition games? I understand you're not slated to start in either of them, so what have you done?
It's been a kind of a typical week for me, just because in between starts, so I usually get to the park and play my do my normal routine to catch in the bullpen in between starts. But definitely during the games, it's been a lot of fun. Guys are a lot more relaxed. Other guys are getting opportunities to play. Like you said, Denning's really taking advantage of his opportunities. And it's always fun to see Woods get in there, put a couple balls in play, a little RBI single for him today. So everyone should be feeling good going into a big game tomorrow and then playoffs.
And what has been your favorite celebration so far from the Electric Factory, also known as the Matsu Miners bullpen?
Favorite celebration? Oh, man, that's tough. There's been a lot of them. I think the original, the bowling, the first time I saw the bowling was a good one, or I don't know, all the dance moves they got. They got a lot of good stuff down there.
Definitely, as the back of his jersey says Big D, number 100, steps up to the plate from the right side. A righty-on-righty matchup with 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. Miners with a 6-0 lead as Cordova gets Big D to swing through a pitch. The count is now 0-2. So, Brady, what's been your analysis so far on Noah's pitching performance?
He's throwing a lot of strikes. That's always good to see. He's a really good pitcher when he competes in the zone. So it's good to see going into playoffs because it's just another guy that we can bring in if we need to.
And really a strong bullpen for the Miners all season. How nice has that been, especially you're a starter, you're a guy that relies on the bullpen to pull you through for a win. How nice is it when you exit the game knowing that you're going to have some solid backup coming in?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably 4, 5, 6 guys that we know every night they're going to come in, and 9 times out of 10 they're going to do your job. Obviously, everyone fails in baseball sometimes, but we have an unbelievable bullpen.
As Noah Cordova strikes out the side in the top of the 6th inning, we'll take a step aside for a quick break as we'll bring it back in the home half of the 6th inning as the Miners lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 6-0 on the Mat-Su Miners Radio Network. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, I'm Tyler Bassetti. I'm from Nevada, Reno, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Baseball.
Welcome back into the home half of the 6th inning here at Herman Brothers Field. The Miners, the top of the Anchorage All-Stars, 6-0 as we're still joined in the booth with the right-handed pitcher from Arizona State, Brady Corrigan, as Braden Merritt steps in from the left side. Merritt had an RBI double in his last at-bat back in the 4th inning. And Brady, you came up with your shortstop, Drew Swift. How nice was that as having a fellow teammate from spring ball making the transition into summer ball?
Oh, it's awesome, especially when it's Swifty, because he's about as good as it gets at any level at shortstop. So it's great when you're pitching, you know, you got that guy in the 6th hole every time there's a ground ball, basically an out.
And so you're a D1 guy, so that means you're sought after by, I would imagine, some few schools. Sort of take us through your recruiting process and how you finalized on Arizona State.
So being from Illinois, you don't really usually get much attention unless you kind of, because it's a colder climate. So I had one, like, I guess you could say showcase event where a lot of schools were after me, and I was kind of thinking about staying local or Big Ten. I was really kind of thinking Big Ten, and then Arizona State. The coaches used to coach at Indiana, and one of their coaches wanted to bring me out for a visit. So I was like, all right, I'll go check it out. You never know. And then I went there, just met with the coaches, met some of the guys on the team, and went around campus, saw the field, all that good stuff. And I fell in love, and I called them right when I landed, got home, said I want to be a Sun Devil, and now I'm here. No complaints. It's been awesome so far.
And I'm sure you can't complain about the temperature during the spring as well, playing in those February and March months. As Braden Merritt had a single to begin the bottom of the 6th, and now Danny Wright flies out to right field for out number 1. And has that transition been a little different at all, playing in the warmer temperature in the early stages of the year, or has that been sort of a flawless move?
I think it's awesome. I mean,
yeah.
It's been great for me just because you don't have to deal with 35, 40-degree games like growing up playing in that.
And so the man of the day so far, Connor Denning, steps up to the plate as he is 2 for 2 today with a 2-run home run back in the 1st inning, walked in the 3rd, and then came around to score after he singled in the 5th. He takes a pitch low, 1-0 with 1 out, and we had some solid play-by-play by Jonathan Guardado. Brady, you want to try your hand, or you more the analysis type?
I can do a little play-by-play.
All right, let's hear it.
A little fastball outside there for a strike. Evens up the count at 1-1. Denny looking to stay hot here, swinging a hot bat.
Denning, the switch hitter, now batting left, as opposed to where he batted right in his first 2 at-bats, batted left in his last at-bat as well.
I mean, he is batting right now.
Or
He was
batting right,
left.
rather.
There you go.
Vice versa. Yeah, you know.
And the charity pickoff move there by the number 16. Oh, a little breaking ball in there for a strike. Makes it count 1-2.
Well, as we take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, the Anchorage Bucks are visiting Lee Jordan Field in Chugiak, Alaska today. The Chinooks and Bucks, they're all tied up at 4. Of course, Mat-Su Miners very interested in that game, as if the Chinooks win, the Miners clinch first. If the Bucks win, it's all on tomorrow.
And the 1-2 count, 16, he delivers outside. Ooh, down for ball 2, 2-2. Yeah, tomorrow is going to be, I expect a little bit more of a crowd here tomorrow at Herman Brothers. If the Bucks can end up winning that game, should be a playoff-like environment.
And what have your thoughts been so far about this Anchorage Adult All-Stars team? I've seen a good amount of talent from them. Unfortunately, the score doesn't exactly say that, but guys that are playing their hearts out right now.
Yeah, you got to respect that. These guys are obviously taking time out of their day and something they love to do, but they're coming out there putting on a pretty good display. Only 3 hits, but there's been some hard-hit balls.
Definitely. It's been a competitive matchup, although the Miners currently lead 6-0. As Connor Denning stepping in from the right side of the dish. Count is now 2-2 with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Brady, we'll talk about the offense of the Miners for a little bit. How nice is it getting that run support more oftentimes than not when you're out on the mound?
Yeah, this I think we talked about this a little bit at Chugiak, but
yeah,
especially when you're starting, you come out, if you're a home team, you get through the first inning unscathed, and then they can throw up 2-3 runs in that bottom of the first or second inning. It's just an unbelievable load off your back for the rest of the game.
As Denning hits one over to second, there's an error on the toss to second, so Denning will reach first, and Braden Merritt will advance safely. And now runners on first and second in the bottom of the 6th inning between the Miners and the Anchorage Adult All-Stars. And we were talking to a few of the guys about it, but getting that confidence these games, especially with the bats, as they haven't necessarily been there, how huge is that in these sort of tune-up games before the big game tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, I think it's an interesting time for these games, but the way our season kind of played out, I think it's worked out perfectly. Like, obviously, an off day would have benefited some guys, but I think it's a good thing. We can get the bats going a little bit, clean up a couple things on the mound, and obviously hopefully getting a win today and take some momentum into tomorrow's game, and then through tomorrow into the playoffs.
And we'll go back to talking about school a little bit. You want to talk about your major at school or some of the things you do around campus?
I'm in business communication, so that's right now still knocking out the general business classes, but hopefully to do something in the communications world. Not 100% sure. Going to try and ride out baseball for as long as I got. And then after that, we'll see. I definitely would not mind ending up in a broadcast booth. That's definitely an option I would love to do.
Well, throw together about 10, 15 years in the MLB. Those jobs pretty much open up for ex-players.
Yeah, that's very true.
So definitely a good chance as Josh Hatcher flies out behind the plate to the catcher of the Anchorage Adult All-Stars as Nick Brooks steps up to the plate. How nice has it been, Brooksy, coming in, that veteran presence, a guy that was here last year trying to will you guys to a 3rd straight title?
Oh, Brooks, he's an awesome dude. He looks a little intimidating with the big beard, big body, big tattoos, but when you talk to him, he probably won't like me saying this, but he's like a teddy bear. It's funny. He's kind of like team dad a little bit. He's just a super good guy.
And speaking of, I know you see Brooksy shine, but you shine as well in the kids camp that happened just about a week ago. How fun was that for you guys and the players to interact with the young generation of ball players up here in Palmer?
Yeah, you see these guys, they really look up to the Miners guys, because I mean, us coming in here, it's kind of like we're like big leaguers to them, and they're at all our games, running around, and then getting a chance to like get to know them on a personal basis and make their day, and then you see them at the next game, and they're saying hi to you. Ooh, BT wearing one off the calf.
Ooh.
He's not going to like that one.
He seems to be doing all right. He's still moving. Bit of a smile on his face. Maybe that'll loosen things up, as I'm sure he'll have some choice words for Brooksy after this game.
Yeah, not the quickest attempt to get out of the way there.
You're not impressed with the agility?
No, I think he lost a step.
It was tough, though. That's a tough play to move out of it. I was, especially off the bat of Nick Brooks.
Hot corner over there.
Yeah. And how has it been shagging for some of these hitters in batting practice, just watching them display their wonderful hitting talents?
Well, a lot of times you don't have to shag with a lot of these guys because they're putting them over the fence. So that's always fun. Brooks might have just got himself on the opposite field.
Back into right, back. It's going to be fair and gone.
Well, right down the right field line. That's right on cue. That's funny.
So Brooksy with a home run. He did have one in the showcase games, exhibition games. So on the season, he would have 3, but unfortunately only 1 has happened in a regular season matchup. But there's the power we were just talking about that we've seen from a lot of the guys.
Yeah, I remember his first day here. Like, no one really knew him. We just kind of saw him come in, big guy, the tattoo, and he's just parking balls into the trees out over the Fred Meyer sign. And we're all like, oh, my gosh. And then, obviously, Spencer. Kona can swing it. Who else? Aaron Walters, Wally, as we call him. He puts a lot of balls into the fairgrounds over there in right.
And in a guy that has hit a home run this season as well, Austin Pinarini steps up to the dish from the left side. Playing left field today. He plays outfield and catcher as well. How nice has it been? I know the catchers call their own games.
Yeah.
What have your thoughts been going into that, and how have the guys done so far this season?
I think with Pino especially, he'll be a senior, so he's been around the game a ton, JUCO, and then caught 50-some games like Gonzaga this year. So he knows the game as good as any catcher I've thrown to. So it's like you can really trust him. You don't gotta, you don't feel like you need to shake off. And when he puts down a pitch, there's a meaning behind it, and you can kind of roll with that. So it's nice to have that, especially behind the plate.
And obviously bringing in that veteran leadership is always nice. Learning from guys like Pinarini, Brooks, and Henson how to lead a team. How many notes, or sort of mental notes, I should say, you've taken from those guys?
Yeah, definitely a ton. Pino, he kind of does it a different way. He's not the most vocal guy. He's pretty soft-spoken, but when you talk to him, he knows the game a lot, and he's been around through the same thing with Brooks. Brooks is a little more vocal on how to do things, which is nice.
As the count currently sits 2-0. This one misses low and away to left-handed hitting Pinarini. It's 3-0 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Nick Brooks just had a 3-run home run to extend this game 9-0. I understand there is a mercy roll in the AABL. Have to wonder if there'll be one here in this game. Would you like to say something, Brady?
No, I didn't know there was a mercy roll.
In the AABL.
Oh, is that the adult? Okay.
The Alaskan Adult Baseball League. We are in the ABL, the Alaska Baseball League. I understand. No, it's been confusing all night long. Trust us. Even for us. I mean, they have a team called the Chinooks. So we have to definitely clarify the difference as Pinarini reaches on a walk.
And, I mean, yesterday was weird. Just the game ended in a tie.
Yeah, you don't see that one every day. I definitely wasn't too upset that it ended after 9, but I would have liked to win.
Yeah, you always want to win.
Yeah, that was the goaltenders came to play though. I think that was their last game. I believe that's what the players on their team told us. So they probably wanted to finish on a strong note. So it kind of sucks that we ended in a tie, but it is what it is.
And they have a long ride back home. I believe around 6+ hours to get back to Fairbanks from Palmer. So I would imagine you guys are a bit thankful. They're not only travel-wise. I'm sure competitive-wise it would be a fun game to play.
Mm-hmm.
So Bozzetti steps up to the plate from the right side playing shortstop today, as he's a shortstop back in the University of Nevada, Reno. But here for the Miners, he's been playing at third base. And how have you thought Tyler Bozzetti's transitioned this season? Over to third base in the summer season, I should say.
I think he's done very well. I think it was my last outing here at Herman Brothers versus the Bucks. He made a couple phenomenal plays where when they were hit, I was like, oh, shoot, that might get down the line or that might be over his head. And then I turn and look, and he's throwing it over the first base. I know as a pitcher, it's awesome to see guys adapting and kind of taking in a new position. And I think it helps him in a couple of years when his draft year comes, because if he can play multiple positions, obviously that'll help. But he's done an awesome job.
And we'll just touch on hitting real quick. Did you hit it all in high school? If so, how did it go? Bozzetti, he cranks one into left field. This one's heading for Pioneer Peak. 2 home runs now and 3 at-bats for the Miners. Have a lead of 11-0 over the Anchorage Adult All-Stars. What do you think of that?
That's exactly what we need for tomorrow. So especially as this Bucks and Chinooks game is a little tied up here in the bottom of the 7th. So tomorrow could be a big one. So we need all hands on deck tomorrow, and that's what we like to see, 2 home runs out of everyday players.
As Bozzetti does have 2 home runs on the season, that won't count till his overall stats. And talk about a guy that has completely turned it around. Bozzetti really struggled, especially striking out a lot, but now he's been one of the hotter bats in the Miners order. How much volumes does that speak to his mentality at the plate?
That's just staying the course. It's not getting too high, not getting too low, and Obviously, he didn't want to come here and struggle at the beginning, but just sticking with it. And he works as hard as anybody on this team every day in, day out, getting his swing ready. I know Tyler and BT's helped him. But no, he's a guy who's just stayed with it, and now good things are starting to happen for him.
And it's especially nice when you can get the bats along with the pitching going along. That's a wonderful formula. Always leads to wins. And you guys have been at the top for about 3 weeks now. How nice has that been playing with the lead and basically the targets on your back, knowing you're going to go in and have a good fight night in, night out?
Yeah, well, you definitely get everyone's best shot, which is good, I think. I mean, it makes you play better. There's never like a slouch game. And then also, like, if you slip a game or two, at the end of the day, you're still in first base, so that's comforting when you can go home and you still got a 2-3 game lead. Especially like the Bucks, all the pressure is on the Bucks in this game in Chugiak, whereas we just have to kind of wait for their results, and then big game tomorrow, so we'll be ready to go.
Currently, that game sits tied at 4 in the top of the 7th inning between the Bucks and the Chinooks. And the Chinooks have been pretty good at home this year. I mean, they're half game out of 4th place in the playoff contention, but they've been good at home, and they've done well against us at home, unfortunately. Yeah. So definitely wouldn't be surprised to possibly see an upset for the Chinooks as David Avitia reaches first. And we've had some comments about Tristan Woods' comedic actions this year. What do you have to say about that?
Woods is one of those guys, he doesn't really have to try and be funny or say anything to be funny. It's just like he'll show up, he'll have like long socks on, Vans, some like funny graphic t-shirt. You never know what type of facial hair he's going to have that day. Comes in with a fresh haircut. He's just a character.
As he swings through an off-speed pitch right there, and he's had himself a pretty good night. I mean, 1 for 3 with an RBI. Anytime you can have a hit and an RBI to go along with it, you got to feel pretty good about yourself.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome. When he got that hit, he was so excited. And I know the whole bench, the bullpen was out there going nuts. So hopefully he can string one along here. He's down 1-2, but you never know. I think he might be satisfied with his 1 hit on the night.
Yeah, especially his first 5 appearances coming into tonight were all strikeouts, and did not also strike out 2 more times in the showcase games. So has to always feel nice anytime you put the ball in play.
Yeah, well, he took a couple years off of baseball. He was down working in Seattle and coming back here. I mean, taking BP every day. You can see he's got the swing and got some power too, actually. It's just got to translate into a game. I think the more reps he gets, the better. Oh, tough call.
As he takes one on the lower.
He doesn't like it. He's talking to the ump. He doesn't like it.
So Tristan Woods, the 9th batter to hit in this inning for the Mat-Su Miners, goes down looking, but not before a couple of home runs as the Miners, they score 5 in the bottom of the 6th. They now lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 11-0. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll have the top of the 7th inning for you on the Mat-Su Miners Radio Network. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
I'm Josh Haley, left-handed pitcher from the University of Arizona, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miner Radio.
Welcome back into the top of the 7th inning between the Anchorage Adult All-Stars and the Mat-Su Miners. The Miners with a strong lead, 11-0, as our new guest commentator has joined us in the booth, left-handed pitcher from Arizona, Josh Haley. How we doing tonight, Josh?
Doing well. Just checking in with the Chinooks.
That game's tied up right now, so if the Bucks go on to win, it's going to be a huge game tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah.
But if the Chinooks win, then you guys will have an ABL regular season title to your name. How good would that sound?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to feel great either way. I mean, obviously tomorrow, if the Bucks win, it's going to be a great atmosphere. Have Brady Corrigan starting. He's going to probably have another breakout start. And then we have Lacey, Churchill, and I in the bullpen. So BT is really going to load up that game. But, yeah, if the Chinooks win, that'd be great, too. Take a league title. But also it'd be fun, too, to go up against the Bucks in the final game and take a league title, too. So.
Yeah, you never know what can happen in a big game like that. And we have a new pitcher, right-handed thrower Jake Terry from Oklahoma. Jake's appeared in 7 games this season, started 3 of them, and in 17 2/3 innings pitched, has a 3.56 ERA, a 1-1 record with 17 strikeouts and 13 walks. This is his first pitch. Nails the lower portion of the plate. He's ahead in the count, 0-1. And Josh, what's it been like for you these past 2 exhibition days?
Oh, it's been a great time just hanging out with the guys, just chilling, and then we're just thinking about Sunday. It could be either a big day or just another game for us. So.
And you're living with your Arizona teammate Jonathan Guardado. He spoke on how you're sort of his little brother. He has to look out for you. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, I mean, going to school together last year. Was like me and him met up, and we talked about all the times we had when we were younger, and we found out that we played against each other when we were younger, and we just talked about that. And he looks at me as a younger brother because I always pick on him, or he always tries to get me up and to wake up and be on time to things, and he'll pick on me too, and we always just go back and forth with each other. I mean, it's a great bond. It's like we honestly are brothers.
A good, healthy relationship,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And it had to be nice having one of your teammates from spring ball to make the transition a little easier up here in Alaska. And you want to talk about what it's been like playing up in Alaska so far?
I mean, it's been a lot of fun. I'm starting with the 2 weeks coming up to go home. I mean, I miss my mom, miss my dad, miss my brother, but I mean, we have business to take care of first. But overall, I mean, it's been a great experience, and it's been one of the greatest times of my life to just be out here playing the game that I love and just experiencing a great state. So.
And what's it like now coming into crunch time, knowing that you guys are looking for a 3rd straight ABL title? How great would that be to bring that to a community like Palmer?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like putting the frosting on top of the cake. I mean, that's like our one goal, obviously, coming here in our clubhouse. We have that whiteboard with all the check boxes, and at the bottom right with a big check box, it says ABL champs. So, I mean, that's our one goal, and just to go home knowing that we won would be a great feeling.
So now Jake Terry, after punching out an Anchorage Adult All-Star, that'll bring up the next batter with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning, I should say, as we're joined with the left-hander pitcher from Arizona, Josh Haley. Josh, you want to talk about maybe what's your major and what do you do around campus?
So I'm an English major. I decided that at the end of this last year. I was going to be a psychology major, but I got into writing, and I guess like the one reason why was my first writing assignment was about my aunt to who I lost, and I wrote probably 12 pages about that experience, and then when I got that grade back of like a 96, I just knew that writing is something that I want to get into. And then the campus life is also it's pretty fun. I mean, it's real laid back, and you're on your own time out there, and it's kind of like you set up your own schedule, and then you have study hall and everything, and you just get that done. Then you go to the field and just get after it.
And writing, is that something you want to do in more of a professional way, whether it's like writing textbooks, which I know may not sound like the best profession, or is it more of like an author way? You want to write books, novels, sort of? What would you like to go with that?
To be honest, I mean, I'm not real sure yet. I mean, I thought about like journalism, like sports writing, or also writing books, or even being an English teacher, so I could also coach high school baseball or coach even in college and try to be a professor. I mean, anything that comes first I'll jump on it.
And obviously, this would all come after your illustrious MLB career, which we hope to have one day. Looking for all the minors to hopefully have a successful life after Matsu, as Jake Terry punched out another Anchorage All-Star, now back-to-back strikeouts. What are you thinking of Mr. Terry's performance so far on the mound?
Oh, it's great. I mean, he really dialed in, especially in Chugiak when I forgot who started, but he came in. And
Denver and McQuarrie started, and then he had the big
came
relief.
in for, 6 innings or 5 2/3 and really shut the door. And, I mean, he pitched well, and he earned a start, and he also pitched well again in Chugiak. And I know he really dialed in, and he's really found himself. So.
and you've had some great success from the starting role this season. And what were the keys coming into this summer and wanting to pitch well?
Just have fun. That was one thing I talked with Jonathan about was, last year at Arizona, it just kind of seemed like I wasn't having as much fun as I should have and should have been, been more open. But when I got out here, I just knew that if I just make it fun, it's going to be fun for me. So.
And we notice you're always giving guys high fives, being really a team leader. Have you always sort of took that leadership position throughout your baseball career, or is that something that you've developed more in your later years?
I did throughout high school, just because like when I went to Gar High School and like all the guys we played travel ball together, so you were pretty much put into that role. Playing varsity my sophomore year, I just kind of knew it would just be a great teammate, pick each other up, and then in college it was a little different because you had a lot of older guys that were already good teammates, and just looking after them, you knew that you wanted to be like them. So when I got out here, I just tried to be the best teammate that I could.
And we'll sort of step aside a bit and talk about the comedy side. Jonathan Guardado, your roommate's name has been thrown out multiple times for the funniest guy on the team. Who's your pick for the most comedic?
Jonathan.
Jonathan?
Sure, yeah. I was telling him last night, like I was in my room just watching some YouTube videos, and I was just thinking of the times he would make little comments to BT or to the team about just anything that came in his head, and it was just like a good time. He's just a good guy to be around.
And also Tristan Woods, obviously, name's been thrown out there. And who's maybe a sleeper funny guy that might not talk as much, but hasn't maybe been mentioned yet on the broadcast today that you think throws out some solid humor?
There's a couple guys like Austin Pinarini. Like he'll say some things under his breath and get everyone laughing. Usually, if BT tells him to do something, he'll say something under his breath, like he'll just be like, "Be quiet, BT," or something. Tyler Bassetti. I mean. He's like my best friend out here, and me and him like connect well. Another guy's Noah Cordova. He has his days. He'll go silent for 3 days, like BT says, and then he'll just come out and just bust in jokes left and right. So, there's a lot of characters on this team. So.
Well, you mentioned that on the home run derby interview we did with you, that you and Tyler Bassetti were basically dating.
Yeah.
You said, how's that relationship going?
Oh, I mean it's awesome. That was like the one thing, because when we were hanging out a lot, the guys on the team were saying, "Man, you guys are pretty much like boyfriends." So when they would just make that joke, we just pretty much hooked onto it and just made that our thing. So.
Well, that's been pretty cool then that you guys have been able to adopt like that, as there's been a couple of walks thrown by Jake Terry, and the bases are actually full for the Anchorage Adult All-Stars as they trail the Miners 11-0, as Jake Terry will allow those 3 runners to stay put as he punches out an Anchorage Adult All-Star, his 3rd strikeout for all 3 outs in the top of the 7th inning. We'll head into the home half of the 7th inning with the Miners atop of the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 11-0 on the Mat-Su Miners Radio Network. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Hey y'all, I'm Blake Shelton. I love that country music connects people all over this great nation, but unfortunately so does something else: childhood hunger. 15 million children struggle with hunger in America. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks works to rescue our surplus food to help provide billions of meals to families in need across the country. Join the fight against hunger at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
I'm Josh Haley, left-handed pitcher from the University of Arizona, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miner Radio.
You heard him virtually, but we get to hear him in real life as well, as Josh Haley is joining us here in the broadcast booth as we enter the bottom of the 7th inning at Herman Brothers Field with the Miners atop of the Anchorage All-Stars 11-0. And I feel like we've talked about this with every single other guy that's come in the booth, but the hitting, it's been great tonight. 11 runs on 10 hits. I know it's an exhibition game, but it has to feel good for the guys to get hot with the lumber.
Yeah, I mean,
obviously we've been struggling the last couple games. Also, I mean, with our bullpen. So these last 2 games were games, you know, to get a rally going into Sunday, especially whatever happens with the Chinooks and the Bucks. But, you know, especially with playoffs coming up, we want to get hot again and keep that rally going throughout playoffs. So.
Speaking of that game, it is still tied at 4 as we're in the top of the 8th inning over in Lee Jordan Field in Chugiak. So Braden Merritt taps back to the pitcher, and it's thrown in time for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And so we asked Brady about it. You guys have been atop for a long time now. How nice is that? I would consider it a good thing because most of the teams are going to bring their best at you when you are the best in the ABL. So what's it been like playing in front for most of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great feeling. Obviously, they're going to try to throw their top guys or play their top guys at the beginning, and if we could especially get through their bullpen in the first couple games, you know, in that 3rd game of the series, kind of like in Kenai, we went through their bullpen right away, and they had nobody in the last couple games. So it's just a good feeling knowing that they know that we're the top seed and that they really got to compete to be able to beat us.
As Danny Wright hits one out into right field near the line, it was dropped, but luckily for the Anchorage Adult All-Stars, it was in foul territory, so Wright will have to go back into the batter's box. And talk about that Kenai trip and how fun it was staying with the guys in the bingo hall and just go through maybe some of the memories that you experienced down there.
Yeah, that really brought us together as a team. I mean, we were already close going into that trip, but being in that bingo hall, man, it was a struggle. I mean, because the rooms are very small and all that stuff, but you know, we really got to spend some quality time together there and just, you know, get to know each other.
And what is sort of the best memory you have from that Kenai trip, if it's allowed to be said on air? So I should say the most appropriate best moment you had in Kenai.
There's a lot, but I think the best one was we were throwing a lot of ice at each other when it was late at night, and I remember BT coming out. It was probably 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, yelling at all of us to get to bed because he was trying to sleep. But I think we were just throwing ice around, and I think Jonathan grabbed Denning's bed and he threw it down the
Oh my goodness!
Threw it down the hallway and just messing around. And
what did Connor Denning do to deserve that?
Just Connor, you know, me and actually Jonathan played a prank on Connor. I'm not gonna say it, but it was just kind of like we were messing around with him and he had told us about his girlfriend, so we played a little prank on him and his girlfriend because. Wow, that ball was hit hard.
Yes, he lines this one straight up the middle. Coming around third, trying to score is Danny Wright, and he will as Connor Denning hustling after it was misplayed in the outfield will get into second, and his great day continues at the dish as he has reached in every single at-bat tonight as he gets his 3rd hit and another RBI. So that is 3 RBIs this evening as the Miners now lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 12-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, so going back, like he told us about his girlfriend, how she goes to the University of Arizona, and me and Jonathan pretty much played a little prank that we knew her and that she was that she was flirting with one of our teammates, and we had him rattled, but we had to tell him it was a joke. But it was just a good time because he's just a good kid, and it's fun to mess around with a lot of our guys.
And that's one of those things that'll just definitely get guys together, just playing little jokes like that to make you feel like you're on the team. And Josh Hatcher, speaking of one of the newer guys for the Miners, he delivers with a double, a one-hopper to the wall as Connor Denning comes in to score. And the Miners now lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 13-0. They've put on 7 runs in the past 2 innings. Pretty good hitting performance from the plate,
yeah.
Josh. And Josh Hatcher, I know he's one of the more vocal guys. I don't know if you're able to hear, but he makes a lot of comments in BP after every single hit. What sort of has he been like a newer addition into the clubhouse for the Miners?
Oh, it was easy for him to fit in. He showed up and he just acted like himself, and you know he really got involved with all the guys, and he's just a great teammate, great guy to be around. He picks us up, and you know, it's just a fun guy.
Definitely a lot of fun, big personalities in the Miners clubhouse, and you can really have a little bit of fun when you're at the top and winning, playing well, and hopefully you guys do play well enough to get the win tomorrow night. Regardless of the circumstances, you're going for the season series win, and if you do, that'll be the 4th year in a row that the Miners have had season series wins against every single team in the ABL. As Nick Brooks steps up to the plate from the right side, he looks at a pitch high and away. His count is now 1-1 with Josh Hatcher standing on second. It's been a hitting showcase tonight for the Miners. 13 runs on 13 hits. And we'll sort of go back to another hitting performance where the Miners scored 12 runs against the Oilers. What was it like to be in the dugout watching that, Josh?
Oh, that was awesome. I mean, I think Kona led off, and he flied out, and we thought that, we were really gonna have to fight this game and compete. And then after that, it just hit after hit after hit, and it was just, we really put them away after that first inning. You could just feel their dugout just giving up, and I thought he hit that out.
It's a high towering fly ball into left field, and it's caught for out number 2 as Nick Brooks is retired after he hit the 3-run home run last inning. How has Nick Brooks' presence been in the clubhouse coming in, well, obviously on the championship winning team last year, and a guy that just graduated Gonzaga, so a nice leadership presence?
Yeah, that was a really huge pickup for us. I knew he wanted to come out again, and Austin Pinerini talked to BT and the other coaches about having him come out here, and he worked that out with Pete, and then he's just been a great contributor to our team. So and he's a great leader. I mean, because he knows he's been through this last year, and he knows like how it feels and what to do. So I mean, it's a great pickup for us.
As Austin Pinerini gets hit, so he'll be on his way to first, and Tyler Bozzetti will stand in, otherwise known as Josh Haley's better half. He hit a 2-run home run back in the 6th inning. How cool was that to watch a 2-run shot from Tybo?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I joked around with him when he got into the dugout. He tried giving me a high five, and we showed no love, and I'll get in the gap.
As this one is deep into right center field. That will one-hop the wall as well. Coming in to score is Josh Hatcher, and Austin Pinerini, he'll hold up at third base as Tyler Bozzetti now another RBI for him as well tonight, as the Miners now lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 14-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning. So the bats just keep on coming on.
Yeah.
Especially for Tyler Bozzetti. 3 RBIs now in his last 2 at-bats, as it seems like it will be a mound visit, but no pitching change. So meeting adjourned as David Avitia steps up to the plate, a catcher for the Miners. And Josh, I know the Miners call all the pitches. What's that been like for you at the experience of catchers calling games?
It's just a great feeling because I remember BT talked to us about that it's if the coaches are calling pitches, it's kind of like they're not really focused in on each pitch. They're just throwing numbers down, just getting orders from the coaches. But when they call their own game, BT said, you're more dialed in and you're more involved in the game. And I mean, I trust all 3 catchers because I mean, they're top guys at their universities. So I mean, it's just a great feeling having 3 guys that know what they're doing.
And it's definitely shown you guys as a team have an ERA less than 3, only allowing an average of 2.11. That's pretty impressive to hold guys to a low average, and also striking out 342 batters all season long. What's that been like? Has that been a mentality you thought with the roster you noticed before the season, a lot of strikeout guys, or is that something that just kind of naturally happened?
I think naturally happened. I mean, we have like one of the greatest staffs. I mean, we do in the ABL, and I mean, each guy that we have is like a bulldog, and like Pete calls us the wild bunch. I mean, we have a lot of guys that just shove and pound the zone and get ahead and get out. So,
as David Avitia grounds this one to third, and the throw is in time across the diamond for the third out of and final out of the 7th inning, but not before the Miners put on 3 runs in the home half of the 7th. They now lead the Anchorage All-Stars 14-0. We'd like to thank you for your time, Josh, for joining us up here in the broadcast booth. Always a pleasure to have the players come up, and we come right back. The Miners will be leading 14-0 in the 8th inning on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
And the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Caleb Van Blake, infielder from UC Davis, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Welcome back into Palmer, where the Miners, they lead the Anchorage All-Stars 14-0 as we enter this 8th inning of play. And we have yet another player up here in the booth with us, Caleb Van Blake, infielder from UC Davis. You just heard it on our little intro. Caleb, how are we doing today?
Oh, we're doing fine. We're looking at the scoreboard. We're doing great. So.
Well, yeah, the scoreboard definitely says that you guys are doing all right. Nice to see the bats coming out, and we'll sort of start out with that. How have you seen the bats done well tonight, as it is a exhibition game, and nevertheless, it's good to see you guys hitting well?
Yeah, I mean, it's great coming out here, getting 14 hits. I mean, up and down the lineup, people are getting hits and scoring runs. So they're just building their confidence, and hopefully we'll just carry this momentum into tomorrow's game and beat the Bucks. So
always important, Palmer community wanting to get a win and possibly getting that ABL regular season title, as the Bucks just scored. They now lead 5-4 in the top of the 8th inning over in Chugiak. So if the Bucks win, it will be the ABL regular season championship game tomorrow here in Palmer. But if they drop to the Chinooks, the Miners will be crowned that first seed tonight. Nevertheless, Sean Hughes is the new pitcher on the mound for the Miners, as he gets Miller to ground it over to third, making a nice play off a awkward hop is Danny Wright in time for out number 1 here in the 8th inning. So, Caleb, what's your experience been like up here in Alaska?
I mean, it's been awesome. I mean, the guys are great. Coaches are awesome. I mean, the whole atmosphere, the fans. I mean, coming out to the baseball field every day is awesome. And, I mean, when you get weather like this, it's you can't beat it up here. So,
as it's a beautiful day, around 70 degrees, a lot of sun. And Caleb, I know your family's in town, so what's that been like sharing that experience with them?
I mean, it's awesome. So after the games, I get catch up a little bit with my family. So, I mean, they get to experience kind of what I'm experiencing. So, I mean, it's awesome to have them up here and get some support.
And I would imagine traveling a lot with baseball, it's hard to catch up on your family sometimes, but anytime they can meet you, especially in Alaska, a place like this, you're going to want to hang out with them and go on cool experiences. And you've been hitting pretty well this year, a bit of a struggle of late, but nevertheless, always a good time to turn it around. What has been the key coming into this summer?
I mean, I'm just trying to keep it loose, play like I know I can play, and I mean, playing loose is the key. So, I mean, the coaches have been keeping us loose. Lately, been a little struggle, but we still got time before playoffs. So, hopefully, I can step it up during playoffs and help the team out.
Definitely a game tomorrow and then a few days off, and then playoffs will roll around as Sean Hughes gets the strikeout for the second out in the top of the 8th inning. We're joined with Caleb Van Blake. And Caleb, right now, you lead the league in hit by pitches. What an honor I'm sure that is to hold that crown right now.
Yeah. I guess like the pitchers have it out for me this year, so.
And what's that been like every time you get hit? Like, what goes through your mind? Obviously, it's not intentional, so what do you think is the reason that you keep getting hit?
I mean, I don't stay on the plate, so I don't know the reasoning, but every time it happens, I'm just like, here we go again. Here's another bruise.
It helps the on-base percentage, though, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
So do you think that's why you've been put at the leadoff spot? Because you're probably going to get hit by a pitch and get on base?
I guess so.
Sean Hughes gets the strikeout. That'll end the top of the 8th inning. We'll step aside for a little bit and have the home half of the 8th inning. When we come back on the Matsu Miners Radio Network, the Miners lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 14-0. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Hi guys, Drew Swift, infielder from Arizona State University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Welcome back into the final inning of bottom of the 8th inning, I apologize, as the Miners lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 14-0. We're joined by today's starter, starting and then coming on in the booth. That's a pretty impressive feat. How we doing, Nolan?
Good. How are we?
We're doing well. So, you didn't notice, this is Nolan Monahan, Wasilla's very own, otherwise known on Twitter as Wasilla's child. So, Nolan, your second season for the Miners, how fun has it been playing in front of what really is a hometown crowd?
Oh, it's always fun. Rowdy team, rowdy crowd. Don't like the Bucks, and looks like it's coming down to them. It's gonna be a good little ending.
Yeah,
it's 8-4.
Yeah, 8-4, a bases clearing triple, and it appears that triple was from Daniel Fredrickson of the Bucks. So the Bucks now 8-4 over the Chinooks at Lee Jordan Field. I guess the yips at Lee Jordan does not affect the Bucks as much as it did us.
Yes, but it's got to be fun, though, to play a ABL regular season championship game as your final game of the season.
Yeah, honestly, all the marbles at home. How can you not enjoy it?
And so how did it feel getting a start on the mound tonight? You started opening day and also starting tonight. So what was the feeling going into this game, and what were your thoughts about your performance?
Just go in there, try shoving it up, shoving it to them.
Wow.
And, just try to cruise and get out as quick as possible. And, I messed around a little bit too much with getting the 3-ball counts and all, but other than that, pretty good.
Yeah, anytime you can go scoreless relief or appearance, not relief, you started today. So we'll move on and talk about this year's team compared to last year. You're here on the championship team. You have a ring to show for it. So what's that difference been like from last year's to this year's team?
Here, elaborate a little bit more here.
So we'll start out just on field. What is the differences between the style of play of last year's squad compared to this year's?
This year's squad definitely has a little bit more speed throughout the whole lineup. Last year we just had Michael Antico who could run, 2 seconds from home to first. The guy was crazy. Have a hard ground out to second. He'd almost beat it out. But other than that, our whole lineup puts a lot of pressure this year on defenses, and we don't really throw away a whole lot of at bats. And our bullpen basically the same as last year's. It's just been electric. The Electric Factory. Wild Bunch, Electric Factory, whatever you want to call them. They've just been shut down the whole year and really helped put the team in a position just like last year's bullpen and team to, stay in games. And,
as
Woods!
Tristan Woods lifts one into right field, moving back and at the track, making the catch for the first out of the bottom of the 8th inning. That would have definitely got the crowd going, and definitely the dugout.
Woods, you dirty dog.
The Electric Factory may have ran from the bullpen and tried to tackle him on his way to second.
Oh, yeah, he definitely wouldn't have touched all bags.
Nevertheless, there's one out in the bottom of the 8th inning. We're joined with the left-handed pitcher from Feather River Community College, but I understand your college search is open and looking to move on to possibly the D1 level at the NCAA.
Yes, sir.
And so we'll keep talking about last year's compared to this year's team. Now we'll step off the field. What's it been like in the clubhouse? Elaborate on the Electric Factory and those antics in the bullpen, and just talk about those differences.
All right, so we'll start off in the clubhouse. The clubhouse is really fun. We do a lot more activities, I feel like, this year. We're playing cards together, just BSing around, cruising, just enjoying each other's time because we don't have much together, and, just spend 3 months together in each other's lives. So everybody just wants to hang out with each other, so it's pretty cool. And, last year's clubhouse did the same, too. But we just did different things, So, both of them been really enjoyable, but, yeah.
And what's your favorite celebration so far at the Electric Factory?
Ooh, I like the keg stand.
That's what everyone that I've asked that has said the same exact answer. Definitely a popular one, especially among college kids. So
exactly.
We'll just leave it at that. And the last sort of comparison we'll have make, what's it like living with Spencer Henson for another season?
Oh, Bubba, Big Butterbean. Yeah, it's good. He's pretty chill. I kind of hate him for taking my bed for the summer. I'm sleeping on the couch.
Oh, well.
But, my family loves him. I love him. He's my guy. And, just really enjoyable. Even though, the guy's probably going to the show next year. So, we'll see what happens, if he'll come back for another year or not. But, we'll see.
And what's it like playing with Jake Butcher again this summer? And also Hank Boyer, who you guys were teammates back in high school.
Jake Butcher, it's always a pleasure playing with him. He's a good-hearted guy, and I freaking love Butch. He's a really good person, awesome dude, loves baseball, and it makes you want to be around him. And the same with Hank, playing with him for all these years. You know, like once I left for college a year before he did, you know, we didn't really talk too much outside of baseball anymore. And then, like, you know, just coming back and rekindling the friendship, you know, everything's just running smoothly. Like, me and Hank are boys. Like, we're hanging out all the time. I mean, it's awesome.
And so we'll talk about the Kenai trip a little bit. Just spoke upon it with a few guys ago and Josh Haley. What was your sort of favorite, I should say, most appropriate moment? Trust me, being around this bunch, there's a lot of inappropriateness that goes on. Fortunately, we can't broadcast. We'd love to, but we'd have to put the 18-plus logo on it. And for the younger audiences, we'll keep it clean. So what is the most appropriate favorite memory you had from the Kenai trip?
All right, well, I'm going to start off thinking about the Kenai trip. I hate you, Josh Haley, for throwing tomatoes everywhere. And I hope he hears this later on because he sucks and I hate him for it.
Wow, that's harsh.
Yeah.
Fire. Josh has pitched well this year, too.
No, but he was being a 20 person in the Bingo Hilton, throwing those tomatoes around. Oh, yeah, brutal. But, you know, playing a lot of cards and just messing around like at the beach and doing all that stuff with the guys. I mean, you're really just forced to hang out with each other. So, I mean, like, you guys, start gelling and then, you know, harassing each other a little bit, making fun of BT, him giving it back to us, and, you know, and all this stuff. Listening to, like, stories from last year's team when we went to the Bingo Hilton, too, and just, like, hearing it from BT and Spencer and me and Butcher and everything. So it was really cool, you know, just going there for a second season with another team.
And as this is your second season, you've been around BT now for 2 years. And can you just talk about his success that he's brought up to Palmer? I know you're a Miners fan growing up, so how sort of he changed the way of this organization? Not maybe necessarily changed, but really brought success to the Miners.
He's just a really smart person. You know, like how to go at a game, how to approach an at-bat, how to not waste anything, you know, and like how to even like from a pitching standpoint, he's more of a hitter guy. But, I mean, even from a pitching standpoint, like, he knows how to, like, talk you through how to navigate through a game and everything. And, you know, like, a lot of these guys, like, they come into the season wasting at-bats and having 4-3 ground outs or weak F8s and stuff. And then as the season progresses, you see, oh, like, a nice little L7 piece instead of a soft F8. Or, like, oh, instead of soft F8, you got to double in the gap. You know, I mean, he just really improves those guys and really shows how to approach an at-bat on a daily basis and how, like, the pro life really is and everything.
And speaking of the pro life, you have a former pro guy in Jeff Erlab. So how nice has that been getting tips from a guy that's really seen it all, being in the minor league level as Jeff Erlab has?
I mean, everybody's just a sponge, and he just soaks up everybody just soaks up his information. I mean, you could see how it was at the beginning of the year when we walked 10 guys a game, only giving up a run. I don't know how we got away with that. But, I mean, you could see, like, how we just progressed from the beginning of the year till now and everything. And it's just been, like, phenomenal just learning from his knowledge of the game and how the pro life is and how everything's handled on and off the field.
And so we have a new pitcher for the Anchorage Adult All-Stars, so we'll take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Nolan Monahan as the Miners lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 14-0 on the Mat-Su Miners Radio Network.
Yes, sir.
Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
This is Aaron Walters from Texas A&M University. I'm a catcher, infielder, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
Welcome back to Herman Brothers Field, where we currently sit in the bottom of the 8th inning with one out, a new pitcher for the Anchorage Adult All-Stars as Josh Hatcher steps up to the plate from the left side of the dish. The bases are loaded. The Miners already with that hefty lead, 14-0. We're joined in the booth with Nolan Monahan, the left-handed pitcher from Wasilla, Alaska. So a guy that you've said many times you grew up a Miners fan and really right now living the dream playing for the Miners.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And we've experienced it, Connor and I, riding with the pitchers on the way to away games. What's that experience been like this season, riding with the Electric Factory on the way to road games, and they really keeping up the energy?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, where do I start? The best part is when we're about 6 minutes away, a.k.a. two Toby Keith songs away. Beer for My Horses, and, I mean, what's the other one?
Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue.
There you go. And, right there is when you really start to feel the electricity.
Of the Electric Factory.
Oh, my gosh, it's hard to breathe.
And it's
just, wow.
And I'm surprised they're contained, especially in those little cages, as Hatcher bounces this one up the middle, tapping second, and then the throw to first is not in time, so the Miners will salvage another run across, thanks to the RBI fielder's choice from Josh Hatcher. Now the lead has been extended 15-0 over the Anchorage Adult All-Stars. So looks like it's going to be back-to-back years, Nolan, that you guys defeat the Anchorage All-Stars.
Oh, yeah. This one, you guys, it's always a good time playing them, though. Honestly, they're all really good-spirited, besides that one guy who threw a helmet in the dugout.
Oh.
Not fun.
Well, it is what it is. And we'll talk about Nick Brooks as he steps in from the right side. What's it like having Brooksy back for another year?
We'll see after this at-bat.
Oh, okay.
If he hits a nice old, 3-run homer right here, I'm really going to enjoy his whole time here. But if not, I'm going to be quite perturbed by him.
It all depends right here and right now, huh?
Yep, the relationship resides on this at-bat.
So 1 3-run home run isn't good enough this season, or this game?
Oh, no, there's a lot on the line here.
Oh, boy. All right, so we'll take you through it then. So 1-0 count, 2 down, the pitch into Brooks. He'll take it on the outside corner as this one rolls back to the wall. So a 3-run home run's out of the question.
Okay, I'll take a 2-run bomb.
A 2-run home run will still be accepting a Nolan Monahan as Braden Merritt comes in to score. Danny Wright comes in to score the 16th run for the Miners. And now moving over to second is Josh Hatcher on the passed ball. Nick Brooks steps in at the plate, 2-0. So it looks like we may have the regular season conference championship here in Palmer tomorrow as the Bucks lead the Chinooks 8-4 over in Chugiak.
Oh, Brooks.
Brooks taps one right up the middle, coming off the mound and making the play in time for out number 3. So Brooks is retired for the 3rd out of the 8th inning. So Nolan, thanks for joining us on air. Always a pleasure having you guys come up in the booth. It's been a fun day. Nevertheless, as the Miners will head into this final inning of play, the Miners lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 16-0 on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
It's Josh Hatcher here, infield outfield from Mississippi State University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
And we got so much support and call-ins and text-ins that they want an encore performance from Nolan Monahan. So he is still in the booth with us for the 9th inning as the Miners lead the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 16-0. Former high school teammate of Nolan will step into the game, Hank Boyer.
Hanky Panky.
From Wasilla, Alaska. Hank, we've seen him twice as this one's lined right up the middle. One hopper to Braden Merritt, who makes the play. So a leadoff single for the Anchorage Adult All-Stars. But nevertheless, we're on through Hank's stats in 3 regular season games. Has 2 innings pitched, a perfect ERA with 1 strikeout and 1 walk. Just pitched the other night where he struck out Bucks Willie Escala in his only at-bat. So runner on first And Hank, what have you seen so far from Hank this year that's impressed you?
Hank's an animal. He's got a straight banger of a curveball. That thing is mean. You know, you throw that curveball early in counts against these high division level 1 guys, and boom, your fastball comes up on you quick, especially with that curveball. And then, I mean, yeah, Hank can play with that a lot, and his changeup's just getting better.
Hank definitely has improved throughout this season thanks to the help of pitching coach Steph Verlab, as this pitch is fouled straight back. He's ahead in the count 0-2. Has there been any traditions or sort of things you guys did in high school that have been brought to this season with the minors?
Not really. I mean, we just brought back old jokes from high school and everything that, like, only me and – oh, there you go, Hank
strike
with the banger.
out looking as Hank Boyer with his first strikeout of the night here in the top of the 9th inning with the first out for the Miners, as there is a runner on first for the Anchorage Adult All-Stars, but will take a mountain climb of an effort to come back as they currently trail 16-0.
But, yeah, though, I mean, just old jokes back in high school, you know, bring those back up, you know, laughing about good times back then, like when we traveled to Sitka for state, like my sophomore, his freshman year and everything, like all the things that happened and stuff like that, like the things that people don't really, like the inside jokes, you know, people don't really understand them, but besides me and him, you know. So, I mean, that's the stuff that we brought, like, to each other from back in Wasilla High.
And what did you think of his no-hit performance? I know it was only 5 innings, but a perfect game, I should say, in 5 innings. What are your thoughts on that?
PG? Good for you, Hank. Yeah, good stuff.
Only took him 52 pitches to do so.
Efficient, too. I mean,
yeah.
How do you not love it? That's a great performance right there. Heck, yeah.
When you got that curveball working, I mean, guys are just going to be mowed down, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Hank hates losing. I mean, who doesn't? But
yeah, exactly.
I mean, so he's just a competitor, and, you know, he just kept his stuff on for 52 pitches and got himself a PG. Good for him.
So I take it that happened his senior year, then possibly when you were down in California?
Yeah.
What was that transition like, moving from Alaska to California for school and playing baseball outside of Alaska?
The first 2 weeks, I felt like I was going to have a heat stroke. But, yeah, outside of that, I mean, everything was really good. I mean, I miss California. I miss Quincy, California, a small little town, little baseball area. I mean, it was just a great time and everything, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm really glad I went there.
Well, that's good. Well, we wish you the best in your future endeavors on wherever school you may end up, as currently there's a 2-2 count with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. So Hank Boyer comes set from his waist. His pitch is just tapped foul. Hank Boyer coming with that nasty curveball you mentioned numerous times. Placed it well there.
Oh, yeah, a little banger piece. Guy got lucky. Dave, you got to catch that better, buddy.
2-2 count. What do you think Hank's coming with right here?
Banger.
Curveball, for those of you who don't understand Nolan Monahan.
Banger.
There it is. Oh, just misses on the lower portion of the plate. So we'll have a full count with 2 outs. Man on first for the Anchorage Adult All-Stars will be in motion. Boyer, his payoff pitch.
Carl, you got to call that.
He misses low. So rather, now we'll have a full count. The scoreboard throwing us off just a bit. Still coming with another curveball here, Nolan?
Got it. It's your best pitch. Have him beat you with your best pitch. And if you don't, and if he beats you with them, I mean, hats off to him.
This one is tapped off the foot, so we'll stay at a full count with 2 outs. As the Electric Factory's been pretty live today.
Oh, yeah.
It's a long game, but as always, really bringing the juice.
It's a grind. It's a grind, you know. It's hard to bring that energy out every game, day in and day out, but, you know, they're managing. Oh, yeah, good banger.
3-2. A low line drive over to Rossetti. He tries to make the hop throw. He pulls Josh Hatcher off the bag, so the Anchorage Adult All-Stars will keep this inning alive with the base hit from...
What's his name?
Yeah, from a guy.
There's been so many people
been
thrown into
the
this
open
lineup.
substitutions. I tell you what, that is a broadcast nightmare right there, especially in baseball. Nevertheless, it's been a fun game, though, whenever you can call an exhibition game, seeing really the talent that Alaska provides on the baseball field.
Oh, yeah.
As this one is fouled off to the right, 0-1, so Boyer trying to get out of this 9th inning.
Yeah, I think that guy's like player/coach/owner, like Jackie Moon kind of thing going on right there.
Yeah,
I got you.
As I believe that's Carlos Olivio, as this one is smacked into left field, moving back as Pinarini. He won't get to it as it one hops the wall. So the Anchorage Adult All-Stars break the shutout with 1. Will they have 2? The relay throw from Rossetti is Not in time, as he slides underneath the tag of David Avitia, and the Anchorage Adult All-Stars are on the board with a 2-out double from Gunnar Baum.
So at least that's a position that
yeah,
that's a spot in the order that Gunnar Baum should be in.
Yeah, nice 2 RBI double. So they're still fortunately down 14 runs, but nevertheless, it's got to feel good to get some runs across.
Oh yeah.
And Nolan, with this big lead, it has to be nice to see the bats come out today and spin an exhibition game. But anytime you get the bats going, especially in sort of the slump our hitters have been in, it has to be nice to see them get the lumber hot.
It is a good refresher. We got these 2 non-league games that we just had yesterday and today. Just kind of give yourselves a little tune-up. Even though Brooks didn't hit 2 bombs today, I'm kind of upset with him. But there we go.
This
Hopefully
one's
Denning
tapped to second. Denning gathers it, throws to first in time for out number 3, and that will do it. That'll end the second exhibition game for the Miners. They go 1-0-1 as they win this one 16-2. Nolan, thanks for coming on air for these last 2 innings.
It's been a pleasure.
As unfortunately for all of you out there hoping Nolan will return yet again, it won't happen because the game's over. So unfortunately, that's all we'll hear from Nolan Monahan tonight. The Miners, they go on to win this exhibition game over the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 16-2. As well, there really was no stats recorded in this exhibition game, but it was a fun one. Nevertheless, a big game tomorrow in Palmer, as it looks like the Bucks will go on to beat the Chinooks, a battle for the Alaska Baseball League regular season title, also the 1 seed and home field advantage for the playoffs on the line tomorrow at Herman Brothers Field. It should be an exciting one. Myself, Brad Walker, and Connor Mills will be on the call for that one, as we'll have our post-game show coming up in a few minutes with skipper Ben Taylor and the Mat-Su Miners player of the game. So for the final time tonight, the Miners are victorious against the Anchorage Adult All-Stars 16-2. For Connor Mills, this is Brad Walker, and as always, it's been a pleasure.